to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. The first game of the NFL weekend is tonight in Arlington. The Cowboys hosting the Seahawks. Seattle has lost 3 of its last 4. Stacey Rost of Seattle Sports 710 says the offensive line injuries have caught up to them.
You realize why backups are backups, because they don't play like starters for a full season. And when you face tougher competition and tougher defensive lines, you struggle. And so I think that you've seen the effect of that with third downs. I think you've seen the effect with the run game. And then outside of that, you've had injuries to some of those running backs.
Stacey Rost on game night. Seattle O-lineman Abraham Lucas is activated for tonight, coming back from a knee injury. Another lineman, Phil Haynes, goes on IR with a toe injury. The Seahawks game against the Eagles in Week 15 moves to Monday Night Football on ESPN and ABC. That game replaces the Chiefs and Patriots. USC freshman Bronny James, the son of LeBron James, gets cleared by doctors. He could be at practice next week and in games soon after. James suffered a cardiac arrest while on the practice floor 4 months ago.
Brought to you by the Capital One Venture X card. Earn 10x miles on hotels and rental cars and 5x miles on flights when you book through Capital One Travel. Plus 2x miles on all other purchases. Capital One, what's in your wallet? Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
That's right.
Up and off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
Yusuf. Nope. Alondra Villarreal. Sorry, Alondra. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there, make it a good one. Mike Triplet, hour number 3. A little bit of a switch up. We'll do our fantasy blitz in 15 minutes. Darin Tietgen was available earlier this hour than later. So if you got your fantasy questions, we'll do that coming up again in about 15 minutes from right now. So line up your questions. Let us begin today, as we do every single day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
Sorry about that, Alondra. I was just in my zone.
It's all good.
In my routine.
It's okay.
Didn't even bother to look up and realize that you are, in fact, not Musa.
I'm not Musa.
Nope, you are not. You're a whole different person altogether.
Yes.
Thank you, though, for being here today. We are going to go to Detroit next hour as well. Jim Costa from 97.1 The Ticket up in Detroit will be here to talk about the Lions. Jaden Daniels won the Unitas Award today. I'll get to that in about 30 minutes. Derek Carr met with reporters. And Nick Underhill had a little bit of a, I don't want to say a back and forth with Derek Carr, but he asked him about the red zone struggles. And I think we've all talked about this plenty. And it's not something that's new to Derek Carr this year. This has been something that has been a narrative, not just a narrative, it's been factual. It's been an issue throughout his entire career where he has struggled in the red zone. And that's been a problem this year, and it really came to a head this past week against Atlanta, where the Saints were 0 for 5 in the red zone. It's stunning inability, just a stunning inability to convert for a professional team with as much resources as the Saints have invested in their offense, and to get that close that many times and to continue to be rebuffed and to settle for 5 field goals. Anyway, and you turned it over a couple times in the red zone as well. But I want to play for you the interaction, because you're going to hear Derek Carr. You're going to hear the question from Nick, and you'll hear Derek Carr's response about what they're doing sort of to fix the red zone issues. Then we'll come back and talk about it. So here was that interaction.
How do you weigh that, though? Like, when you guys are moving the ball, but you aren't moving it in the last 20. Like, how do you marry those two thoughts together?
I don't know, man. You got to ask Coach Pete and DA. Myself, when you ask us, we're not going to be able to give you all the answers that everyone wants to hear on the things we're trying to work to do better, schematics and player and all those kind of things. And so you're going to keep asking the same question. I'm going to keep giving a lot of words and no answer, because I'm not going to tell you.
So he said, I'm going to keep giving you a lot of words and no answer, because I'm not going to tell you. Okay. First of all, the premise that Derek Carr is saying there is not wrong. To say, I'm going to use a lot of words without giving you an answer because I'm not going to tell you. Because why would anyone give away their strategy? If there's certain things that you are doing to fix the red zone issues, personnel, alignment, play call, whatever, you're not going to disclose that. It doesn't make any sense at all to give away your strategy. Clearly, you're not going to do that. But the really bizarre thing is that every single week, not only in the NFL, but in all sports, we listen to coaches and players give these word salad answers. God bless. I remember when, I don't know if he still does it, but years ago when LeBatard was on ESPN radio nationally, on Mondays after an NFL Sunday, they would do a bit called the useless sound montage. And they would just collect sound bites from coaches and players all across the NFL, and they would play it with the NFL the NFL Films theme music behind it. Or maybe it's the ESPN NFL primetime music. Either way, the point was, it was just poking fun at the fact that nobody says anything. So Derek Carr, it's perfectly fine if you don't want to give us your strategy, but it's also kind of dumb to answer it the way you did. To admit, I'm going to use a lot of words and not tell you anything because I'm not going to say anything. You can do it without saying that's what you're doing. We all know. It's like coaches whenever they're asked about a job. We talk about it all the time. You have the denial, the non-denial, and the non-denial denial. You can say a lot without saying anything. That's the non-denial. Denial. This is what's undeniable, though. When you look at quarterbacks in the red zone, Derek Carr is 25th in the NFL this year in red zone conversion among starting quarterbacks. It's just not good. I don't know any other way to say it. The Saints are a bad red zone team. It's not just a fabrication. It's not your imagination. It's not mine. It bears out, and we've seen it throughout this season, and we've seen it for a decade with Derek Carr. That's just what they are. That's what he is. So, man, I respect dodging a question, but you don't dodge a question by saying, I'm going to dodge the question. In any event, Derek Carr, when he met with reporters, though, was asked, number 6, please, if you have it, about sort of the mindset of the team right now coming off that loss to Atlanta where they're 5-6.
It's not as sad as it is out here. I can promise you that. We are super positive. Practice was great. The meetings have been great. You can feel the frustration, but in a good way, in a way all right, well, this is what I need to do. Everyone is laid out. Every coach telling every guy, this is what you got to do this week to help us win and all this kind of stuff. And everyone knows their responsibility, and you saw a lot of guys doing those things today. And so, again, it hasn't been what we wanted it to be up to this point, but we still got time.
And the other thing, of course, is to say you still got time is true. You're 5-6. You're tied with Atlanta for first place in the division. We all know that right now. You're down in the tiebreaker, but you've got a month here to make it up. It's with 6 games to play, you have time to overcome this deficit. It's just I don't know that anyone has great confidence that they're going to be able to do it because they just haven't found that consistency at all, and that's just that is the nature and the definition of an inconsistent team. It's the one step forward, two steps back. You just never string together wins. The Saints started the game with back-to-back wins, then lost two, then won one, then lost two, then won two, then lost two. That's the nature of how this goes. And this week you got to play Detroit, and the Detroit team that is one of the best offensive teams in football. And Derek Carr was asked about the Detroit defense and that challenge.
Really good. They play hard. They got really good front, really good front seven, I should say. Secondary plays well together, and the things that Coach Aaron Glenn is asking them to do. And I've known him since I was running routes on him since I was 13 years old after practices, and he's always been a smart guy. None of my routes worked against him when I was a kid. So he does a good job of coaching those guys and understanding how to change certain things and little tweaks of their system and little tweaks of their scheme to try and win that week. And so they're doing a fantastic job, obviously, with their record and all those kind of things. So, again, it'll be another tough week for us.
For whatever it's worth, the Detroit defense is 24th in the NFL in scoring. So while Detroit's offense has been really good, they're top 10 in everything, the defense at times has been susceptible. Look, they gave up 29 points at home to Green Bay. I'm sorry, at Green Bay. When they went on the road to Green Bay in Week 4, they won that game 34-20. But you look at the points that defense has given up at times this year. They gave up 37 against Seattle. They gave up 38 at Baltimore. They gave up 38 at L.A. in a game they won 41-38. My point is, Detroit's offense is very good. The defense has been susceptible, and a couple of times on the road. As I mentioned, giving up 38 at the Ravens, giving up 38 at the Chargers. There are plays to be had offensively if this offense can get into gear. Although Derek Carr is going to have to do it this week, quite possibly without his top three wide receivers. We'll wait and see how that trends as we get closer to Sunday. All right, it's After Further Review. Our show open every day is brought to you by Bud Light. Drink easy in Louisiana with Bud Light, the official beer of the LSU Tigers, and, of course, the official beer of the New Orleans Saints. The official beer of AFR is Bud Light. So this holiday season, whether you're at a restaurant enjoying dinner, whether you're just toasting with friends, kicking up, watching the game, make sure you got great tasting Bud Light. Of course, Mockler Beverage has been an awesome sponsor and an awesome partner of so many in our community over the years. The Tiger 10K this weekend, the 10K race that finishes at the 50-yard line at Tiger Stadium. Of course, great sponsor, Bud Light and our friends at Mockler Beverage. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of AFR. Okay, we're glad to have you aboard with us here. By the way, we have our winner for our giveaway, our Saints ticket giveaway. We picked the winner earlier today. We'll announce it a bit later in the show. Again, it's 4 tickets to Saints Lions on Sunday and 4 pregame field passes. So we'll announce the winner a bit later in the show. Let me knock out a quick break. We'll come back. Again, changing things up a little bit. Darin Tietgen, our Fantasy Blitz, is next. We usually do that at the end of the hour, but we'll grab Darin here. So if you got fantasy questions before you set your roster for Week 13, make sure you fire away with your questions. You can email us, you can tweet us, you can text us in the 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. Our Fantasy Blitz is next.
AFR.
Brought to you by Pluckers, Nicholson and Bluebonnet, dining, carry-out, or delivery. My buddy RP from over at ESPN 103.7 in Lafayette, driving over from Lafayette to go to the LSU women's basketball game tonight to go cover the Tigers against the Hokies. And he shot me a note. He said, hey, man, I hear you talk about Pluckers all the time. Really a good spot to eat before the game? Of course it is. And it's just south of campus. So if you're going to the PMAC tonight to watch LSU against Virginia Tech, you want to grab a bite before the game, go to Pluckers. It's literally, if you're on Nicholson, you go just south of campus, a quarter mile. It's right there on the left. Nicholson just south of campus, and, of course, Bluebonnet right in front of the Mall of Louisiana. And I should remind you that tonight and every Thursday is all-you-can-eat boneless buffalo bites. So that's, of course, white meat chicken, breaded, fried, tossed in your favorite wing sauce, and you can eat as many of them as you want tonight and every Thursday for one low price. Of course, you can watch LSU Virginia Tech. You got the NFL game tonight as well. It's Pluckers, dining, carry-out, or delivery. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $20,000 off MSRP on new 23 Ram 1500 trucks. $20,000 off plus no payments for 90 days on new 23 Ram 1500 trucks. All with Bayou's 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Life in Louisiana is like a run-on sentence. A poem that doesn't rhyme. Life is here, now. for life's moments, big and small. Always there. The right card, the right care.
The importance of doing this fortified program and offering it to people down here is, number one, the only real chance you're going to get to do this is when you put on a new roof or build new. And through companies like HUDCO, who's kind of leading the way in this thing, it's going to offer the customers a huge advantage in the insurance market and the price of their insurance.
You know, we're not looking to make a fortune off fortifying. We're trying to give you a better product than our competitor at the moment. I'm trying to do something that he can. I'm trying to give you something better. So a lot of these insurance jobs, you're getting a re-roof, you're only paying your deductible. Let's sit down and talk about the fortified and let's see what it does to your insurance premium. You're getting a steal.
Yeah.
You're getting a brand new roof and a fortified certificate for your deductible, essentially. I think we're rocking and rolling.
Would a couple that just came from a couples massage have any use for the massage seats of the Infiniti QX60? Yes, it appears they would. With driver and passenger massage seats, mute all your notifications and feel infinitely you.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at Relief
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. After further review, this is the Fantasy Football Blitz.
Do you know who I am?
Powered by whotostart.net.
Who the hell are you?
Whotostart.net.
King of the Who?
The Fantasy Football Blitz.
Who the bitten?
This is the Fantasy Football Blitz, powered by whotostart.net.
All right, changing it up a bit. Usually we wrap up hour one, but Darin had a little scheduling conflict. Good enough to join us right now. Before you set your roster for the weekend in the NFL, make sure you check with our guys at whotostart.net. Remember, they got the midseason special, just $9.99, get you the rest of the season answering all of your personal fantasy football questions. It's whotostart.net. Darin, we appreciate you, man. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing good. Thanks for having me on.
You got it, man. Let's get to it first. Tonight's ball game, who are we keeping an eye on?
Yeah, I think it's going to be kind of tough sledding for the Seahawks. Obviously, the Cowboys are kind of rolling right now, so look for Dak Prescott and his merry band of wide receivers to have another solid outing. Maybe a little Tony Pollard mixed in. I'm not really liking anybody for the Seahawks. I mean, obviously they're going to be throwing a lot to keep up with Dak and company, but right now I think I'm kind of staying away from all Seahawks.
Okay. Buys this week: Buffalo, Chicago, Vegas, Minnesota, the Giants, Baltimore. A lot of 6 teams on bye, and a lot of obviously very prominent quarterbacks and offensive weapons there. So looking for some sleepers. What are some popular ones this week?
Yeah, lots of buys this week. It's really kind of putting a fork into a lot of people's playoff hopes, but hopefully you could find some alternatives. A running back we kind of like this week is A.J. Dillon for the Packers. It looks like Aaron Jones is probably going to be out for another week, and A.J. Dillon working his way back from injury himself, but we like what he can probably do against the Chiefs. as they try to keep the ball away from Patrick Mahomes and the KC offense. In terms of a wide receiver, we like Greg Dortch from the Cardinals. He's got 17 targets in the past 2 weeks alone. Kyler Murray really likes to target him. We like the matchup against the Steelers. So Greg Dortch, if you're looking to fill a wide receiver spot.
All right, let's get to questions. You got questions for Darin? Fire away. You can email us. You can tweet us at Matt Moscona. You can jump in the Bayou Ford YouTube chat, or you can text 225-396-4400, 396-4400. Lance Trailer says, Darin, who to start? Is PPR League pick 2. He's got Rashid Rice, Puka, and Christian Kirk. So I guess that's a who to sit.
That's a tough one. I don't really like Puka's matchup per se, but hard to bench him in the PPR format. Christian Kirk kind of giving way to Calvin Ridley. Definitely going to play Rashid Rice, like his matchup. So I think you probably reluctantly have to sit Kirk in that situation.
All right. Andrew Watson says, Darin, who to start, Amari Cooper or Dameon Pierce?
Yeah, I mean, Cooper working his way back from an injury himself, so not sure who's going to be playing quarterback there for the Browns. Pierce into kind of a timeshare with Singletary, but does have a good matchup. I think you're probably just going to lean towards Pierce there.
Costas says, Darin, this is an interesting question. Should managers be concerned about Travis Etienne as an RB1 down the stretch, given his decreased production the last 3 games?
Yeah, I mean, I just was listening to a radio report on him, and he's nursing a host of injuries. Notably, right now, it's calling a chest injury, but he's also had some issues with his foot. So that's definitely something to monitor. If you're able to grab Dearness Johnson off your waiver wire, he would be next in line for carries for the Jaguars. Also,
Darin, is Stafford playable as a fill-in quarterback?
Yeah, I think so. I think he looks like he's healthy. He's got some weapons to throw to. Kyron Williams being back in the backfield certainly helps as a guy he could dump the ball off to. So yeah, it looks like Stafford might be a decent low-end QB1 the rest of the way out.
TJ Rankin said T. Higgins or Brandon Cooks. Who to start?
Yeah, I don't think that Higgins is going to play. I like Cook's matchup this week here at Saints against the Seahawks. Dak has been looking his way quite a bit. It's not going to be a huge game for Cooks, but I think he's better off than Higgins is, especially since Higgins may not even play.
Let's see if we can get maybe 1 or 2 more in. Here's one from Grayson who said Tua or C.J. Stroud. Who to start?
Man, it's hard to sit Stroud right now. Those 2 guys are ranked fairly similarly in our weekly rankings. Very hard to bench Stroud, but Tua's matchup is really good against the Commanders. But I think you're going to probably just go with Stroud there, but just barely.
All right, he is Darin Tietgen, who2start.net, the numeral 2. D, I know you got to run. We appreciate you for making time in a different slot. And again, still $9.99 the midseason special going on. Gets you the rest of the year.
Yes, that's correct.
All right, we appreciate it, Darin. We'll talk next week, man. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Matt. Take care.
Be well. That is Darin Tietgen, who2start.net. It sounded like Darin was maybe running on the beach or something like that. Did that sound like a wind tunnel to you? Wind?
It sounded like he definitely was in a rush to get somewhere. He was running somewhere.
When you picked up the phone, because it still sounded like he maybe had us on Bluetooth. Maybe that's where we had all the background noise, unless if he didn't. So did it sound different to you than when he first picked up the phone?
It did sound a little better, but he definitely took us off the Bluetooth.
All right.
But he had something going on.
All right. We appreciate Darin, though, for making it happen. Fantasy, Paulie, do you play fantasy football? I don't know if I've ever asked you that question. You do?
Yes.
Alondra, you?
No, I don't get into it.
Okay. So I'm not the last living, breathing human not to play fantasy football if Alondra doesn't either. Paulie, why don't you ever ask questions to Darin?
Good question.
He already knows everything.
Yeah, I'm good with my lineup.
Are you losing?
No.
Are you winning?
I do win.
Are you winning? Are you in first place?
Which league are we talking?
Oh.
It's one of those guys with multiple leagues. See,
I'm currently in
Brian
second
does
in
that.
one and fourth in the other right now.
Okay, so you're losing, by the way. So
You ain't first, you're last.
that's what I'm talking about. Finally, someone who sees eye to eye with me here.
I was gonna make a joke.
Well, you can't say I was going to make
never
it.
will.
Okay, there you go. That's if he stands on a chair. See, we can't make fun of the guy. He's not here. We can't poke fun at Moose.
You're right.
I feel so. I always have this issue with the NCAA tournament with brackets. When people are like, oh, I won my bracket. Well, if you filled out 15 brackets, then I don't respect you at all. I don't respect your win one iota. You fill out one bracket. Now, if you want to fill out many brackets because it increases your chances of winning okay, I get it. That's fine. You're playing the odds. Okay, no worries. But don't flex if you win a league, if you win a March Madness pool, if you filled out 15 brackets. It's just not impressive. You took 15 different shots at it. Fill out one, and if your one hits, then I'm impressed. And again, God bless you. If you go win and you fill out multiple brackets, cool. But Paul, I feel like the same thing with, am I wrong? Is there a counter argument to this?
No, I agree with that. But I play one Dynasty League and one redraft league.
I don't know what that means.
Dynasty League means you keep the same team the whole time.
You never change your team.
Right.
What about if guys retire?
Well, that's the whole point. Like, you drop them and then you get the new players from the new draft.
I don't understand. So you're drafting players. Or for the
rookies. You draft
What
rookies.
if you don't? So you can't get a rookie unless if someone retires?
You can. It's hard to explain. Yeah.
Clearly.
The brain, he does multiple leagues.
Yeah.
And he does.
I know.
No, get this. He does the Dave Ramsey League.
What is that?
You know who Dave Ramsey is?
I know who Dave Ramsey is. But
Well, he has a fantasy football league, and Brian's in it.
So is this a small league or is like across the whole world?
Like the whole
of Dave
I
Ramsey
think the whole,
listeners?
yeah, like if you listen to Dave Ramsey, you can join this league. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I don't listen.
Which
to
I feel
Dave
like Dave Ramsey would advise you not to bet money on a fantasy football.
I can sum up Dave Ramsey's. How long's Dave Ramsey's show?
I don't know. 3 hours.
Spend less, save more.
Yeah.
Just nailed it. All right, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by Shaw Bills. Shaw Bills Tire and Auto Service. ShawBillsTire.com. ShawBillsTire.com. Getting toward the holiday season, y'all. Of course, they always have great deals over at Shaw Bills. So I encourage you, if you are in the market for tires or are going to be soon, you want to buy the best tires on the road, you want to get them the cheapest place possible at Shaw Bills. They'll sell you name brand tires at wholesale prices. I say it all the time, cheaper than other discount tire places, cheaper than membership clubs, cheaper than all the big box stores. It's Shaw Bills, Shaw Bills Tire and Auto Service. Go to the website, you can hit the promotions tab, and you'll see all the great promotions that they have available over at Shaw Bills right now. So you can get all the specifics about how you can give the gift of great savings at Shaw Bills. Go to ShawBillsTire.com, ShawBillsTire.com. But yes, it's not just about getting tires at inexpensive prices. It is that. But they're going to treat you so well that you keep coming back year after year after year after year for all of the issues that you may have with your vehicles. It's Shaw Bills, ShawBillsTire.com. Shaw Bills, we keep you rolling. All right, y'all, it's After Further Review. We will go around the SEC when we come back. Busy night in basketball around the conference, and Bobby Petrino met with the media about his return to Arkansas. We'll get to that here in a little bit. And Jaden Daniels has claimed his first piece of hardware for this this award season. And man, the more we keep an eye on this Heisman race as we get toward next weekend, the more perplexing it is, because I keep seeing so many thought leaders, college football thought leaders, national people, national media members, respected voices who continue to say that Jaden Daniels is the best player in college football, that he's getting their Heisman vote. Yet we continue to see the odds go the other way toward Bo Nix, which makes me really wonder if the public is just getting this wrong. And the public has been wrong before. And I mean, I keep looking at the odds like you all do. You know, I was looking earlier today at, I'll pull it up like right now, live on air. It's 3:29 Central Time on this Thursday, November the 30th. And the most current odds right now at DraftKings for the Heisman are Bo Nix minus 190 and Jaden Daniels plus 150. For those that don't know what that means, for Bo Nix minus 190 means you'd have to bet $190 to win 100. Jayden at plus 150 means if you bet 100, you'd win 150. So the gap is growing, but that's clearly the sports book moving the odds to try to get people to put money on Jayden Daniels. So it tells you that the public, that bettors think that Bo Nix is going to win the award. It's just so interesting because when you listen to people talk about the Heisman, aside from like John Canzano, Ryan Leaf, I haven't heard anybody really stump for Bo Nix or suggest that they feel like he's the best player in college football. So I wonder if it's a thing where like maybe the public's wrong. Anyway, we'll get to that. Glad to have you aboard with us here. We'll go around the SEC next. It's AFR.
AFR.
Get Gordon and get it done. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. Few days remaining. Actually, today, by the way, is the last day for the Get Gordon, the Gordon Gives bike giveaway for part of our state. Remember, every year Gordon does this. His favorite childhood Christmas memory was waking up on Christmas morning and getting a shiny red Schwinn bicycle, and so he pays that forward every year when he buys bikes and gives them away all over the state of Louisiana to less fortunate children. This year, 488 bikes they're giving away. Today is the last day to enter if you're in Alexandria, Lafayette, Lake Charles, Monroe, or Shreveport. So for those parts of the state, today's the last day. So go to GordonGives.com, GordonGives.com. It's easy. You'll see the entry form right on the homepage. Go to GordonGives.com. For Baton Rouge and Hammond, the deadline is next week on the 7th. You want to help a child have a brighter Christmas? Gordon would like to help. Go to GordonGives.com. Get Gordon and get it done.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
The interior of an Infiniti is thoughtfully designed to be all about you. And by you, we mean every version of you. Because there's luxury you can feel, and there's luxury that lets you feel. Infinitely you. Experience luxury like never before with Infiniti Premium Care, included with the 2023 QX80 at your local retailer.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Hey, boat owners, check it out. It is the holiday season, which means it's time to buy yourself a gift by taking your boat to the next level with our friends at Front to Back Boat Service. Now is the perfect time to upgrade your boat and get it ready for that warmer weather, whether that's trolling motors, HD sonar, anything and everything. The Sherman family's been at it for 30 years, and Devin's going to take you through 30 more. Find them on Facebook at Front to Back Boat Service or go to fronttobackboatservice.com.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product is always customer satisfaction.
After further review with Matt Moscona. Presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com.
Well, the honors for Jaden Daniels are now beginning. Today, the Johnny Unitas Award was recipient was named, and of course it was LSU quarterback Jaden Daniels. This begins what we expect to be a very long and winding and eventful rubber chicken circuit for Jaden Daniels, where he's up for darn near every award that you could possibly be up for, from the Maxwell, the Walter Camp, the Davey O'Brien, the Heisman, and here he's already begun as a national award winner with the Johnny Unitas. It's interesting whenever you look at the Unitas Award, which is of course given to the most outstanding quarterback in college football, the Golden Arm Award. And Jaden Daniels wins it as the best quarterback in college football. And my assumption here is that he will also win the Davey O'Brien as the best quarterback in college football. It would just be a really bizarre twist if Jaden sweeps all of these quarterback awards but loses the Heisman to Bo Nix. And I understand that we're very much in a purple and gold bubble. And so much of the feedback, the interaction that we get with respect to the Heisman is going to be filtered through a purple and gold lens. Like if I open my Twitter, a lot of it is going to be LSU-centric, naturally. I primarily cover LSU. And so, yes, my Twitter feed is going to be filled with that. But I also follow a lot of national writers and a lot of the talking heads around college football. And look, when you break down the Heisman votes, right, there's over 900 Heisman voters. Forgive me, there are 870 voters. So there's just over 800 media members that vote. And then you have the living Heisman winners that each have a vote. And there's roughly 60. There's maybe a few less than 60 living Heisman members, the Heisman winners that have a vote. Then the general public has one vote. You can go vote online, and whoever wins the online vote, that one vote is cast for that player. And so I do understand that we're not sitting here polling every Heisman voter, but I also understand that more than likely, you have 145 votes per region within the United States. So it's 870 media members that get to vote. Naturally, Jaden Daniels is gonna sweep the South. And my guess is Bo Nix will sweep the West. So really it's what happens in the Midwest and the East and how this all comes down. I still am gonna hold true to this, that sometimes the public can get it wrong. And the other thing that I would hope, if you know how, this is a bit nefarious, but I don't care, I'm going to say it on air, because I want Jaden Daniels to win the Heisman, not get robbed. The way the voting works is that you can vote for 3 players, a first, second, and third place. I would hope a lot of people that vote for Jaden Daniels just leave Bo Nix off the ballot altogether. Don't vote him second. Don't put him on your ballot. He'd get no points. I know there's a few Heisman voters that listen to the show. Maybe they'll consider it. Is that nefarious? Should I not say that? Give me a thought. Is that unethical, Alondra?
You say whatever you want.
Paulie, is that unethical?
Not at all.
I'm not a voter. I'm not a voter. Say what I want. And by the way, I'll tell you this much. That is not an original thought from your boy. I literally know people on various sports committees who vote for not only awards, but also postseason selection committees who have done that very thing. Do it. Just leave Bo Nix off your ballot altogether. Okay, we do it every day about this time. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products, excellence in imaging solutions.
All right, going to do it a bit different today. We'll get to the basketball scores from last night, some pretty significant ones from around the league. Bobby Petrino was introduced for his return to Arkansas as the new OC. Of course, he was the head coach from 08 to 2011. By the way, they won 10 games in 2010 and 11 games in 2011. That was the only time since Arkansas joined the SEC in 1992 that it put together back-to-back winning records in the SEC. It's incredible. Like Bobby, that's why they loved him. I mean, he was the only guy that really won and won big there. Petrino said, quote, "It's something I hoped would happen. Wasn't sure if it ever would," meaning returning to Arkansas. "But it is a dream come true to be able to go back to the University of Arkansas and do anything I possibly can to make it right this time. I'm grateful to Coach Pittman, Hunter Yurachek for making it happen." Petrino will make 1-5 this year, 1-6 next year. I couldn't help but think, what if Sam Pittman and his staff get canned after this year, and then Arkansas has to pay Bobby Petrino to not work next year? That'd be pretty incredible if it happens that way. And I do kind of chuckle a little at the thought that A&M hired Bobby Petrino to save their head coach, and he got fired. And now Sam Pittman's hiring Bobby Petrino to save his job. I'm not super confident it's going to work out very well. All right, on the hardwood last night, part of the ACC SEC Challenge, Wake Forest in Winston-Salem, they beat Florida by 11, 82-71. Texas A&M went on the road. This is one of Otter Locks last night that did not hit. Virginia beat A&M 59-47. North Carolina ranked 17th. This one was in Chapel Hill. They took care of business against Tennessee. That was an Otter Lock that did hit. The Otter gave us UNC minus the 2.5. UNC wins 100-92. Vandy got trounced by BC in Nashville, 80-62. Georgia went down to Tallahassee and nosed past Florida State, 68-60. Auburn, no issue with Virginia Tech, 74-57 was the final there. And in the big one, unranked Arkansas at Bud Walton Arena hosted 7th-ranked Duke in a rematch of the 1992 94 national championship game. Arkansas beats Duke 80-75. Big win for Eric Musselman and the Hogs. There you have it. That is Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products. Shout out to our guy Trey Beal and our friends at Gulf Coast Office Products. You know where to find them. GCOPnet.com. GCOPnet.com for Gulf Coast Office Products. Tell you every day, it's face-to-face sales, service after the sale. That's what you get at Gulf Coast Office Products. Again, check them out online at GCOPnet.com, the official office equipment provider of the LSU Tigers, the New Orleans Saints, the New Orleans Pelicans, the Raging Cajuns, and the Baton Rouge Zydeco. Gulf Coast Office Products. All right, it's after further review. Glad you're rolling along with us here. You can email us, tweet us, text in the 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. Lots of ways you can get involved in the show. You can always text us. Christian Lewis said, "Hey, Scone, if you look at the fan Heisman vote, Jaden Daniels has 45% of the vote. Number 2 is Jordan Travis with 34%. Bo Nix is 4th with only 6% of the fan vote." But that's kind of my point, though, isn't it? Like, and maybe that's LSU fans rallying behind their guy, but it does feel like nationally the sentiment is leaning toward Jaden Daniels. And again, I am acknowledging, very, very much so, that I am looking through a purple and gold colored lens. But when I listen to people who are national media members who go on national shows and talk about this, and yes, there's some that are LSU guys. Booger McFarland has been very openly campaigning on national platforms for Jaden Daniels, but he's an LSU guy. Well, David Pollock did the same thing. David Pollock's not an LSU guy. You could say, well, he played in the SEC. Okay, that's fine. RG3 is not an LSU guy. He's a Heisman winner with a vote who has openly campaigned for Jaden as the best player in the country and had Jaden on his show. That's kind of my point, where when you look at who aren't looking at this just through an LSU lens, where are they leaning? You hear far more about Jaden than you do Bo Nix or anyone else, which makes me wonder, like, is the public wrong on this? They've been wrong before, and they might be wrong again. We'll see. What could certainly help Jaden's cause? Let Washington go take care of Oregon on Friday. I mean, everyone in this town better be get you a voodoo doll, name it Bo Nix, and jab it in the eye. You're offended by that? I just said, Alondra's over here like red-faced offended. I just said leave the guy off your ballot altogether. That actually has consequences. Not a voodoo doll.
I'm not offended. That's just crazy. The eye.
Yeah, jab him in the eye. Get a little popsicle stick. Remember on Indiana Jones when a little kid had the voodoo gun, he would stab it, and it would it was like Indy was being stabbed with it.
I know how
the Temple of Doom.
work. Yeah.
Temple of Doom.
Yeah.
That's it. Indy, I love you. That little kid won an Emmy. Not an Emmy, an Oscar.
Yeah.
Short Stack?
Mm-hmm.
Short Stack was in a movie last year and won an Oscar.
What movie?
I don't know. Alondra, I don't know if we ever had this conversation. I don't watch movies.
No, okay. I was about to call you out the other day
Okay, what did I
you
do?
used a Mean Girls gif, and I'm like, you've never even seen the movie.
So?
That's
The gif's appropriate.
being a poser. You've never seen it.
It's not a poser.
She doesn't even go here.
Gifs.
If you've seen it, you'd know that reference.
I don't know the reference, but
You should know.
GIFs. You don't have to have seen a movie or a TV show or anything to use a GIF. A GIF is is an appropriate reflection of your emotion at the time.
Yeah.
That's what you use it for.
Yeah.
I don't have to have seen a movie or a show to use a GIF. Paula, do you agree with me or her?
I agree with you.
Yeah, thank you.
Wow.
Thought so.
Wow.
Maybe it's that share.
Wow.
There's some gifts I don't even know what movie they're from.
Exactly. That happens all the time.
Yeah. I don't really use gifs, so I don't know.
I do all the time.
Yeah.
It's way better than emojis. All right, it's after further review. We'll wrap up hour number 1. We get a Saints injury report when we come back next. And it's judging by, actions speak louder than words sort of thing. Judging by a roster move the Saints made today, it ain't great with Detroit coming in. We'll talk about it next.
AFR.
Brought to you by Glow Resources, glowresources.com. Complete employer solutions. I'm really excited. Monday, I'm going to go over to the new Glow office and sit down with Jareth Knockan and kind of talk about updates to get into the holiday, move toward the new year. And I'm excited because I'm going to get to see the progress that they're making. So Glow Resources, their corporate office has been in downtown Baton Rouge. They're moving to Perkins Road right near Perkins and Quail Oak. It's right near Pennington. Believe me when I tell you, when that is finished, Perkins Road is going to have a facelift. Like, you will not be able to drive down that part of Perkins Road without noticing the Glow Resources corporate headquarters. It's pretty phenomenal. But it's not just Baton Rouge. New Orleans, Orlando, Miami, Dallas, they're all over the place at Glow Resources. And they can help you, if you're a business owner, place workers in any job, locally or internationally, for any different industry. Learn more at glowresources.com. They are complete employer solutions. glowresources.com.
It was a humid day, barefoot children play, looking for that summer shade. Time just slips away. Oh, Louisiana, some kind of hold on me. Like cypress stumps, your roots are planted deep inside of me.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I'm Tom Granick with Go Martin, Wardo's Po' Boys in Natchez, Mississippi. On behalf of the Granick family, we invite you to run, walk, or stroll in the second annual Rudolph Roll. Held on the beautiful Natchez Bluff, this holiday event will kick off at 8 a.m. on December 9th and will include a 10K, 5K, and 1 mile kids fun run. Along with the race, there will be live music, drinks, and of course, Po' Boys. We're looking forward to an even bigger party this year. For more information, please check out the link on Wardo's Facebook page or scan the QR code. Hope to see y'all there.
Life in Louisiana is a song. A symphony of sound, colors, and movement. Life is here, now. For life's moments, big and small, always there. The right card, the right care.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com.
Thursday, Saints-Lions injury report is out. No changes at all. Same players that didn't practice on Wednesday, didn't practice on Thursday. They are Cam Jordan, Marcus May, more on that in a second, Kendre Miller, Rashid Shaheed, Pete Werner. Those that were limited on Wednesday were limited on Thursday. Blake Grupe, Eric McCoy, Chris Olave, and Ryan Ramczyk. Obviously, the most significant there would be Cam Jordan. We'll see his designation on Friday. Kendre Miller, I would assume will still be down with that ankle injury. Shaheed, when you're a speedster playing that position, having a thigh injury is a challenge. And then, if you're down Pete Werner, Cam Jordan, Marcus May defensively, that's 3 defensive starters on a defense that's already struggling against a really good Lions offense. So tomorrow's injury report is going to be very significant. Chris Olave remains in the concussion protocol. So you have no Mike Thomas. Rashid Shaheed didn't practice, and Chris Olave is limited in the concussion protocol. So it's very clear for a Saints offense that has been struggling, you might be down your top 3 receivers on Sunday against the Lions. That's no bueno. As for the Lions, there were some changes. Alex Anzalone did not practice, and Frank Ragnow, who was a full participant Wednesday, did not practice Thursday. That's significant, of course, because he's their center, and we've talked about this forever. It's the old Buddy D-line that teams fail to cover 80% of the time the week they lose their starting center. So we'll keep a very keen eye on Frank Ragnow. Jonah Jackson, David Montgomery, Tracy Walker, all full participants today after being limited on Wednesday. And then same with Hendon Hooker, who is, of course, coming off the torn ACL, was limited on Wednesday, was a full participant on Thursday. So one of the best stories of college football a year ago was Hendon Hooker's meteoric rise, as great as he was. Certainly the disappointment of the knee injury, but going to the Lions and now healthy again. Excited to see what his NFL career may be. That's a guy who got absolutely hosed out of the Heisman a year ago. So there's your Saints-Lions injury report. There's one thing the Saints did today that may illustrate what they're thinking as far as that injury report. I'll come to that in a second. Reminds you about the Williamson Eye Center. If you want to see 2020, call 924-2020. You're at the Dome on Sunday sitting in the 600 level, and you want to be able to see the field in crystal clear 2020 vision, you can always do it. The Williamson Eye Center can help. Without contacts or glasses, oh yeah. Driving down to the Dome on Sunday, you want to be able to see perfect when you drive, all the street signs, the cars in front of you. Never have to worry about squinting at night or squinting to see the bottom line on a TV. Living your life, being able to see is pretty incredible. I had LASIK 5 years ago. Paulie did it just a couple of months ago, as a matter of fact. And the best, Williamson Eye Center. Go see Dr. Blake Williamson. 924-2020, 924-2020. Or go to williamsoneye.com. That's Williamson, EYE.com. Tom Pelissero of NFL Media reported that the Saints are signing Jonathan Abram to their 53-man roster. He'd been on the practice squad, so they're signing him from the practice squad to the active roster. Haven't yet seen the corresponding move, but it's pretty obvious here. With Marcus May's shoulder injury, they're preparing for the inevitability of him not playing this weekend, which is why they've signed Jonathan Abram to the active roster, ramping him up to play this week. Abrams played a lot of games. Before he joined the Saints, he played in 43 career games with the Raiders, Packers, Seahawks. So this is a guy who has played a lot of football. And the challenge is severe for the Saints. That Detroit offense, 3rd in passing, 6th in rushing, 7th in scoring. And this is a Saints defense that's without Lattimore, might be without May, might be without Warner, might be without Cam Jordan. And you allow 228 rushing yards to Atlanta. And now you got to face this Detroit offense. Be prepared for points Sunday in the Dome. Okay, quick break. Sports Center coming up. Is Caleb Williams going back to school? We'll talk about it next.
AFR.
We are way early.
I'm definitely looking at the wrong clock.
Yeah, you are.
Bad.
Okay. We'll just carry on then. Brought to you by Michelli Weighing and Measurement. Michelli.com with more than 30 offices across 11 different states. We're brought to you by Michelli Weighing and Measurement. All of our affiliates just keep it here because we have plenty of time to do the 60-second live read, which actually would be like 2 minutes since we just missed that. I'll keep talking about the Saints and the Lions, so we go to our actual break time of 56. It'd be 1 minute now, so 56:45. So anyway, for all the affiliates, just hang with us here. I'll get you back on time. Michelli Weighing and Measurement, Michelli.com with more than 30 offices across 11 different states. Hey, look, if you're going to be in the Dome on Sunday, and you know the guy who has the bucket of beer with the strap around his neck, and you buy that Bud Light from him, and he's got to open the top and hand you the beer without the top because they don't want to hand you a projectile that you throw on the field. Well, to open that top, that twist top, there's a certain amount of force required to do that. Well, machines are calibrated to determine how much force it would take to be able to open that. Well, who calibrates those machines? Michelli. Just an example of millions of applications that Michelli can help with. It's Michelli Weighing and Measurement. If you weigh or measure something, they sell, service, rent the products that you use to weigh and measure. Learn more online at Michelli.com. That's Michelli.com. For 76 years, nobody better than Michelli Weighing and Measurement. Online, Michelli.com.
I'm Chris Nakamoto, and here's what I'm working on for my stories on WBRZ Channel 2 tonight. A corruption scheme that led to the resignation of a top state official appears to be getting wider. This week, federal prosecutors charged a business owner in Lafayette with conspiracy in a bribery scheme that links back to an employee at the Baton Rouge District Attorney's Office. Hear what actions District Attorney Hiller Moore took. I'm Chris Nakamoto from WBRZ. Watch more tonight on WBRZ Channel 2.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust Poll of the Day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, live at lunch on Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the Poll of the Day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
Hey, boat owners, check it out. It is the holiday season, which means it's time to buy yourself a gift by taking your boat to the next level with our friends at Front to Back Boat Service. Now is the perfect time to upgrade your boat and get it ready for that warmer weather, whether that's trolling motors, HD sonar, anything and everything. The Sherman family's been at it for 30 years, and Devin's going to take you through 30 more. Find them on Facebook at Front to Back Boat Service or go to fronttobackboatservice.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Step inside an Infiniti QX50, and you'll find a suite of driver-focused features tailored to your tastes. But most of all, you'll find luxury that lets you feel infinitely you. Visit your local Infiniti retailer today.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. The Seahawks and Cowboys tonight in Arlington, Texas. Dallas is 8-3 and unbeaten at home, but there are still plenty of doubters. ESPN's Dan Orlovsky.
Dallas doesn't have the ability to know that they're really good this year because they haven't beaten anybody that we value or that they value as a really good team. That's why tonight matters.
Dan Orlovsky on Get Up. The Arizona Cardinals waived tight end Zach Ertz at his request. If Ertz clears waivers, he hopes to catch on with a contending team. ESPN's Pete Thamel reports Clemson wideout Bo Collins will enter the transfer portal. UCLA quarterback Dante Moore, Oregon State quarterback DJ Uiagalelei, and NC State quarterback MJ Morris are also entering the portal. Uiagalelei could still declare for the NFL draft. ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski reports Pistons forward Bojan Bogdanovic could make his season debut as early as Saturday against the Cavaliers. He's been out with a calf strain. The Pistons have lost 15 games in a row.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. They're close, convenient, and have the parts you need fast, along with excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
That's right.
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. I'm Matt. Hey, shut up, kid. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Alondra Villarreal. And Mr. Toby Tom Plate. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there, make it a good one. Mike Triplet next hour. Jim Costa from 97 The Ticket up in Detroit, that would be. Will be with us in 15 minutes. Get us a closer look on the Lions as Detroit's looking to avenge their Thanksgiving loss against the Packers. Come on down to the Dome on Sunday. So we'll head up to Motor City in 15 minutes from right now. There's a report out there. I shouldn't say it's a report. Caleb Williams gave an interview to the LA Times and continues to reiterate he's not made a decision about the draft. This feels a little like gamesmanship. For what it's worth, Williams has until January 15th to declare for the draft. He is the consensus number one pick in the draft. Everyone knows he's going to be the first player taken. But he told the Times, quote, this was one of my most important years of playing football so far. I've never been in this situation where I'm 7-5 and there are no playoff hopes at the end of the season. I'm dealing with it emotionally, dealing with it spiritually and physically. I've had talks with Coach Riley, Lincoln Riley, because obviously I haven't been through it, or with my family members or people like that, just how to deal with this and lead, how to stay the same person I was before the season or after our first loss or second loss. So it was different. It was a learning process. First of all, I want to be very clear. I respect the hell out of this kid for caring that much about winning. He clearly got broke off when he left Oklahoma to go to Southern Cal. He went with Lincoln Riley and got a giant NIL deal. He signed major NIL deals, and that's awesome. Good for him. I've said this so many times. I am the most pro-player media member you might ever hear from. NIL, transfer portal, whatever, give it to all of them. For 100 years, college football has been built on the backs of free labor. And the sport itself has got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. I know there's no realistic way that you do a rev share because of Title IX laws. So this is a way that players can get something. I'm for it. You're Caleb Williams, you can make a bunch of money. You're the Heisman winner, you can make a bunch of money. Go make it. So just to be very clear. But I respect the hell out of him because through all that, he still cares that much about winning. I mean, there were scenes this year when USC kept losing games. He was sobbing. Like, don't we all want athletes to care as much about winning as we do? There's one that does. So good for him. I respect it. He's 22 years old, won 11 games each of the previous 2 seasons. Oklahoma in 21, USC in 22, won the Heisman last year. Comes back to SC and they're 7-5. Defense was awful. Sound familiar? Now, we have seen situations in past years where quarterbacks or players who were going to be top of the draft decided to return to school. It happens. Not often. And because it doesn't happen often, we remember them. Matt Barkley was one of them, another USC quarterback who decided to go back to school and ended up being a mid-round pick as a result. Cost himself millions of dollars going back to school. Peyton Manning is probably the most famous. Back in 1996, passed on the draft, returned to Tennessee in 1997, had a great season, fell short of ultimate goals of winning championships or the Heisman, but still was the number 1 pick of the Colts and went on and had a Hall of Fame career, as we all know. But I believe Caleb Williams is going to go pro. I am not buying that he's going to return to school. Whoever is advising him has got to advise him to leave. His coaches need to advise him to leave. He's 22 years old. He's going to be the number 1 pick in the draft. He's going to make $30 million. He's got to go pro. And anyone who's not pushing him out the door is doing that kid a disservice. But if there's any reason why Caleb Williams might return, it's this. Who has the number 1 pick? How much money can you make staying in school? If there are NIL opportunities that make it financially make sense to come back to school for another year, compete for a championship again with a better team, and still make 7 figures, there's a reason that could make sense for Caleb Williams. In a pre-NIL world, it wouldn't have made sense. But if he has the opportunity to put 7 figures in his pocket, play another year of college ball, and still get broke off by the NFL in another year, okay. But I would keep a keen eye on who has the number 1 pick. And all accounts are the Panthers are the worst team in the league. That pick belongs to the Bears. Is Chicago willing to take Caleb Williams, number 1 overall, just a few years after it took Justin Fields, with all the capital invested moving up to take Justin Fields? Maybe. Does Caleb Williams want to go play in Chicago for that organization? Don't know. But we've seen it in the past. And Eli Manning strong-armed, or the Mannings, strong-armed the Chargers. And it was wise of them to do it. The Chargers are a terrible organization. Instead, he went to the Giants, won a couple of Super Bowls, and is likely headed to the Hall of Fame. John Elway did it when he didn't want to play for the Colts. Ended up going to the Broncos. He used the leverage he had, which was MLB. Caleb Williams has a lot of leverage, which is he can go back to school. So, will he use it? We'll see. I'm not buying it. I'm still saying Caleb Williams is going to leave. He's going to go to the draft. He's going to be the number 1 pick. But if there's a reason why you might have there might be any validity to that, it's you make a lot of money in school, and who has the number 1 pick? Worth keeping an eye on. All right, it's after further review. Of course, our Thursday shows are brought to you by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Baton Rouge, Lafayette, online, theantiagingclinics.com, theantiagingclinics.com. You want to look and feel like your younger self? They can help. Go for that blood test. Go for that consultation. Let them draw your labs and see if you'd be a candidate for HRT, the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Baton Rouge, Bluebonnet, Baton Rouge, Ambassador Caffrey in Lafayette. So all our folks on ESPN 1037 in Lafayette. And then online at theantiagingclinics.com, theantiagingclinics.com. Of course, Caleb Williams transferred out of Oklahoma to USC, and we talked, if you were here on Wednesday, quite a bit about the transfer portal quarterback situation and how my very strong feeling is that LSU needs to add a quarterback. It's not a knock on Garrett Nussmeier. It's negligent if you don't take advantage of resources that are available to you. And the portal is a resource available to these schools now. and you're LSU and you have an older quarterback, but you don't have an experienced quarterback. So if you can add one, you add one. And we're starting to see even more names pop in. Again, the portal window doesn't open until Wednesday. So players can't formally enter the portal until Wednesday, unless if they're graduates. For example, Max Johnson. Max Johnson's a graduate. Graduate players can enter the portal at any time and can commit or sign at any time. So Max Johnson's already gone into the portal and signed with North Carolina. DJ Uiagalelei, who of course started his career, is from California, started his career at Clemson, spent this year at Oregon State, has announced he's going back in the portal. Although he has a decision to make. DJU could still go pro. He made the announcement on Twitter, and he will consider the NFL draft or another year of college. As a graduate, he has 1 year remaining. He is immediately eligible. There are reports out there that Oregon is at the top of his list of schools he is considering. The other really interesting one today that entered the portal was Dante Moore. And you might remember Dante Moore was the 5-star out of Michigan, and LSU recruited him heavily. And they were among his finalists. They got him to campus. Joe Burrow helped recruit Dante Moore. But ultimately, Dante Moore picked Oregon and then flipped to UCLA. And it was a little on again, off again, hot and cold this year at UCLA. Well, Dante Moore's back in the portal. And Bruce Feldman is reporting that Dante Moore could be leaning to Michigan State. Now, it would make more sense for DJ Uiagalelei to go to Michigan State because his coach, Jonathan Smith, just from Oregon State, just left Oregon State for Michigan State. If you're DJU, it makes sense why you jump in the portal. Your coach is gone. The Pac-12 is no more. It's the Pac-2. So do you really want to go play Mountain West schools with a new coach? I get it, why if you're DJU and you have the ability. The other reason why we're seeing so many quarterbacks today jump in the portal, I don't think it's any coincidence that yesterday Matt Rule's comments went viral. Matt Rule making the comments about, the going rate for a quarterback in the portal being $1 million to $2 million. Every quarterback in the country, their ears went bing. Let me go put myself on the market, see what I can garner. So, yeah, I understand why you're seeing that today. And then you got a lot of quarterbacks as well whose coaches have left. Riley Leonard from Duke. Mike Elko's at Texas A&M now. Dante Moore, you talked about as well. Will Howard's leaving Kansas State. DJU was leaving Oregon State. Grayson McCall is leaving Coastal Carolina. Tyler Shaw is leaving Texas Tech. I'm going to keep saying it, y'all. Tyler Van Dyke's leaving Miami. Will Rogers, Mississippi State. There's so many experienced quarterbacks that if you're LSU and you're replacing Jaden Daniels, if you're not kicking the tires on every one of those relevant players, you were doing your program a disservice. You better believe Brian Kelly is going to be active seeking a quarterback in the portal this year, and you should. There's plenty to choose from. All right, we'll follow that as it continues. Monday is when it'll really start to ramp because Monday is when the portal window officially opens. Players can officially enter the portal, and schools can begin to contact players. So then is when we will know for certain what players are thinking, what schools might be interested. Okay. So after further review, a quick break. We'll come back. Let's head up to the Motor City. Jim Costa, 97 won the ticket up there in Detroit. We'll take a closer look at the Lions as they're heading down to the Dome on Sunday. Stay with us. It's AFR.
AFR.
Man, I just had a client lunch today. On Monday, be going to lunch with some really good clients. Well, actually, potential clients. And we're going to go eat at Tallulah inside the Renaissance Hotel. I tell you all the time, Tallulah is not just a hotel restaurant. It's not like, you think a hotel restaurant, you think that it's just a place where you go and you have overpriced eggs and bacon for breakfast. No. This is a casual, upscale dining experience. I'm telling you, get the pork chop. Get the pork chop or the crab or anything. Chef Jason Abert has done an awesome job with that menu. Chef Jason's from Baton Rouge, went to Redemptorist, shout out. He has spent time in Maine, New York, San Francisco, points in between some of the best food cities in the world. He's brought all that experience to Tallulah right there at the Renaissance Hotel. So if it's a night on the town or a quick business lunch, make it Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Life in Louisiana is like a run-on sentence. A poem that doesn't rhyme. Life is here, now. For life's moments, big and small, always there. The right card, the right care.
The importance of doing this fortified program and offering it to people down here is, number one, the only real chance you're going to get to do this is when you put on a new roof or build new. And through companies like HUDCO, who's kind of leading the way in this thing, it's going to offer the customers a huge advantage in the insurance market and the price of their insurance.
You know, we're not looking to make a fortune off fortifying. We're trying to give you a better product than our competitor at the moment. I'm trying to do something that he can. I'm trying to give you something better. So a lot of these insurance shops, you're getting a re-roof, you're only paying your deductible. Let's sit down and talk about the fortified and let's see what it does to your insurance premium. You're getting a steal.
Yeah.
You're getting a brand new roof and a fortified certificate for your deductible, essentially. I think we're rocking and rolling.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com.
Couple of teams looking for a get-right Sunday in the Dome. The Saints will welcome in the Lions. Find out about how Dan Campbell's squad is coming off their Thanksgiving loss and what the Saints can look forward to. Jim Costa does radio up there in Detroit, 97.1 The Ticket, also studio host for the Lions. Good enough to join us for a couple of minutes. Hey, Jim, we appreciate it, man. How are you?
Hey, not a problem. Happy to join you guys.
Hey, man, give me a little bit of a vibe check after the Thanksgiving loss to Green Bay.
Yeah, I mean, you got to understand that the Lions fan base is used to heartbreak and heartache. This 8-3 start's kind of uncharted territory. So when something goes wrong, people start to have that PTSD moment. No, here we go again. So this Sunday feels like a really big spot for Detroit to try to calm people down.
What went wrong? Look, everybody watched Thanksgiving Day. I mean, we've all seen the television numbers. It was a massive day. And it just started so terribly for Detroit. What happened from your perspective there at the beginning of that game?
Yeah, the autopsy, if you will.
Yeah.
I think the autopsy actually goes back a few weeks prior. So the Lions beat the Chargers out of their bye week, but they gave up touchdowns on the final 5 drives of the game. Scored 41 points, so it didn't cost them.
Mm-hmm.
But they ran into issues the very next week on the defensive side of the ball against the Bears, but it's Chicago, so it did not cost them. But then on Thanksgiving Day, if you can't get a pass rush and then you turn the ball over, things start to spiral. So it's one of those deals where if you have to play shootouts because your defense doesn't get home, and then your offensive line lets a couple free runners through, Goff gets panicky, turnovers happen, and it's everybody's nightmare on television.
Is the defense really that bad? I mean, I can look at the points per game, and they're 24th in the league. And as you mentioned, there have been some bad performances. The Ravens was a bad performance.
Yeah.
Are they really that bad?
It's all relative, right? So they had no issue playing against Jimmy Garoppolo or Desmond Ridder or Bryce Young. But when they faced playoff caliber teams, obviously beating Kansas City week 1 is the outlier, but the playoff teams that they've faced, the high caliber offenses they've faced, it's shown that they simply don't have an edge rusher opposite Aiden Hutchinson. And if they're unwilling to blitz, if they're going to rush 4 and they're not going to get home, it's going to be a long day when you face quality teams.
Jim Costa is with us. Nice having won the ticket up in Detroit. I don't know that the Saints are a quality team.
Fair.
They're probably going to be down their top 3 receivers, or could be down their top 3 receivers. Where is that Lions defense most vulnerable?
Jerry Jacobs. Just in short answer, I mean, everybody knows to pick on him. Good offensive coordinators are going to see, all right, who's he lined up with? Pick on him 8-10 times a game. It's not a secret anymore.
So is it what is the matchup in? Like I don't watch the Lions every week. So is it short intermediate? Is it the deep stuff? Where's the problem been?
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit of everything. I mean, against Green Bay Thanksgiving, it was a little more intermediate, right? But a couple deep shots will kill you. I mean, it'll flip the field, and I think it's a little bit of everything in the secondary. I happen to think that the pass defense of the Lions is every bit as bad as the numbers suggest.
Flip it over to the offensive side. It's the opposite conversation, right? I mean, the Lions are top 10 in the league in everything that matters. Why has it worked so well offensively?
Yeah, I think Ben Johnson, future head coach, he's a hell of a play caller, and you'll see some hallmarks of good NFL offense, which is play action. You'll see motion pre-snap, marrying the run and pass concepts to keep defenses on their heels. Jared Goff, an accurate quarterback when he's in rhythm and he's got time, and this offensive line features 3 first-round picks up front.
Yeah.
And those guys all being healthy, and Jonah Jackson back at practice this week at the left guard. I mean, that's kind of the whole deal, is if they win the line of scrimmage, Goff doesn't get panicky, and the offense all of a sudden starts to hum where guys are in the right spots and there's big yards after the catch.
Jim, is that really the answer, how Detroit has turned this around as an organization, that they've hit in the draft?
Yeah, I mean, listen, that's been the emphasis, is capitalizing not just with your picks at the top, the Penei Sewell pick, the Aiden Hutchinson pick, but also Amon-Ra St. Brown. I think they really view him as the type of guy you want to build around. Chip on his shoulder, didn't run the fastest 40. He's not 6'5", but he's where he needs to be. He's tough. He's gritty, a big buzzword here for the Lions. And everybody knows now he remembers everybody drafted in front of him. It's that chip on the shoulder mentality.
Yeah. I saw where Amon-Ra St. Brown passed Calvin Johnson for the most scrimmage yards by a wide receiver with the Lions through 3 career seasons. I mean, that's a mouthful. Jim, like, is the NFL maybe sleeping on Amon-Ra St. Brown a bit whenever you consider that type of production?
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy because we hold Calvin in high regard locally. Everybody does.
Everybody does, yeah.
Too. Yeah, but especially here, I mean, we watch the guy jump over 2-3 defenders at a time and come down with the ball pretty reliably. St. Brown, completely different receiver, and I think it is that underneath possession receiver that goes unnoticed, but the production speaks for itself.
I want to ask also about Dan Campbell. He was a guy who was here. Yeah, he was a guy who was here, and I mean, he was a guy that was beloved. I mean, he was the gritty type player, right? And you know, there's this feeling that he's the one on staff that they let get away, that the Saints ultimately ended up promoting the wrong guy. What has been? We can all look at the quotables, right? We're going to bite your kneecap and all that stuff, but emotionally get you so far in the league. What has it been with Dan Campbell that's allowed him to get buy-in and success the way that they have in Detroit?
Yeah, I mean, the quotes are there. I mean, this week he was talking about your guys, the shrimp gumbo. He said it's as good as gold. So, I mean, those are always going to be part of Dan Campbell's approach. But, yeah, once you get beyond surface level, I think he is incredibly real, or at least he connects with people in a way that you get buy-in. I think he has this fine line of, I mean, he's a man's man, but at the same time, he's not afraid to be vulnerable and admit, hey, I screwed up, or we got to be better at this. And I think it's not cliche. I think it really connects with people here, and especially locally. I mean, he is beloved.
Was it the start last year? I remember when the team was so close a year ago to breaking through, and he kind of had that tearful press conference. And then it was like, boom, they rip off 3 in a row and won 6 of 7, I believe, right in the middle of that season. Was that moment really the turning point that everybody there in Detroit sort of looks at?
There was a moment, they're 1-6, and ownership defended him publicly. And you got to understand, in Detroit, the forward ownership is an easy punching bag. I mean, the team has been so bad for so long that this doing radio, eventually everybody just distills it to the top, right? It's not the 1 or 2 coaches you hired or the 3 or 4 bozo executives. It's ownership, and they don't know what they're doing. But when ownership stuck up for him and said, no, we're not panicking, we feel like we have the right guy, it was putting their neck out there, and they responded from that moment on. I mean, they rattled off 8 of the last 10 last season and immediately won the first game this year against Kansas City and haven't looked back.
Was there any legitimate concern about Dan Campbell and Texas A&M?
No, not. I mean, we laughed about it locally. There was no way he was going to leave.
Yeah. It's so hard to imagine a sitting head coach in the NFL leaving for a college job. Then again, A&M and that oil money, man, you never really know sometimes. A couple more for you. Jim Costa's with us from 97.1 The Ticket there in Detroit. He's on Twitter at @JimCosta_. The importance for Detroit at 8-3, especially coming off the loss, qualify the importance of this game Sunday for Detroit as they look ahead to the playoffs.
What do you want, like a scale of 1 to 10?
Yeah, well, scale of 1 to 10, or just how important is it for Detroit to get this game when you look at what's still ahead, still with 3 divisional matchups to go?
So let me play the line of not just doing radio and trying to be a little more measured, right? Because we're very emotional, and I think there is a concern that, hey, panic will set in if they lose. The reality is the Lions are 2.5 games up in their division. They're going to have 2 in a row, or not 2 in a row, but 2 still to go against the Vikings. They could lose this game, be an 8-4 team, still handle their business, still get a home playoff game, something we haven't had in 30 years, win that playoff game, something we haven't seen in 30 years. So I don't know that panic is something they're staving off, but I just go back to that PTSD. I think fans will start to spiral a little bit if this continues to happen, where they play down to their competition and even lose this game.
Yeah. Lions are 4.5-point road favorites Sunday in the Dome. What is the blueprint for Detroit to come into New Orleans and win?
Yeah, I think there was a great quote by the running back coach this week. Some people like peanut butter, some people like jelly. Most people like both. It's Gibbs and Montgomery both being featured in the backfield. Get back to winning the line of scrimmage, dump the ball off to them, win TOP, give the defense a breather, let them play with a lead. I think it all comes down to getting both those backs going and building up a lead.
Do you go crunchy or smooth peanut butter?
So in our household, it's a debate. Wife is crunchy. I prefer smooth.
Smooth, of course. You got to go creamy. And then do you do grape jelly or strawberry?
I prefer strawberry overall, but grape if you're doing it with peanut butter.
Oh, we're the same person, Jim. If I'm getting a biscuit, I want strawberry jelly. But if I'm doing a PBJ, it's creamy peanut butter and grape jelly. You and I, we are kindred spirits.
We are.
You can tell a lot about a man based on the way he takes his peanut butter and jelly. My guy, Jim Costa. We're lifelong friends. You didn't even know it.
Hey, best of bud.
We appreciate the time, Jim. Thanks. Enjoy the game Sunday.
I appreciate it. You guys too.
Oh, man, be well. It's After Further Review. Glad to have you hanging out with us here. We're brought to you by our friends over at Pure Restoration. Mold Zero is now Pure Restoration. Love telling you about them because, man, it's a service that at various times you never know if you're going to need. You have water intrusion in your home. You need to get the water out, get odor out, get mold out. Pure Restoration. It's a patented non-toxic dry fog treatment. It's approved by the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. Go to the website and read the full report by the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. And again, it's patented. Nobody else can use it. So you're going to get something that's more efficient and more cost-effective. It's pure restoration. If you got mold, you need to kill or remove odor, maybe in a locker room, a gym, workout facility, cigarette odor, pet odor. Let Pure Restoration come in, spray their patented non-toxic dry fog, bada bing, bada bang, bada boom. They're in, out, and that odor's gone. They can sanitize schools, hospitals, public buildings. It's incredible product. You got to learn more. Pure-restoration.com. Pure-restoration.com. All right, it's after further review. We're glad you're hanging out here. When I got a break, come back, do a little what to watch as we look ahead to the to this football weekend, which gets kicked off tonight with the Cowboys and the Seahawks. Got a little Tigers and the Pros here in about 15 minutes from right now. Actually, Alondra, if you do not have Tigers, no worries. We're going to skip Tigers and the Pros today. No worries at all. You don't sweat it. And then Mike Triplet's going to be with us in about 45 minutes. So we're glad to have you hanging out with us here on a, what day is today? It's Thursday, a Thursday edition of AFR.
AFR.
Hudco Roofing and HudcoRoofing.com do business with someone you know. Rain today, rain tomorrow, rain Saturday. When it rains, the phones ring at Hudco. It's just the nature of it. I can tell you forever and ever and ever and always to give us a call. Let us do that free, no obligation roofing inspection. We'll find out if you have water, because there's two ways to find out if you got roof damage. One, let us come do a free, no obligation roofing inspection. Two, wait for it to rain and get water in your house. And 99.9% of humanity waits till it rains and you got water in your house. But if that's you, give us a shout at Hudco. We'd love to come help you out. We have insurance professionals that all they do is work with insurance companies to get your claim approved. It's Hudco Roofing. Do business with someone you know. Touching every corner of the state. You can call us in Baton Rouge at 364-1007, 364-1007, 364-1007, or go to the website HudcoRoofing.com and see all the area code phone numbers all across the state. HudcoRoofing.com.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $20,000 off MSRP on new 23 Ram 1500 trucks. $20,000 off plus no payments for 90 days on new 23 Ram 1500 trucks. All with Bayou's 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
The world's leaders in obesity research, obesity medicine, and obesity science are right here.
We're doing something that no one's ever done, or trying to answer a question that no one's ever asked before.
Pennington is a real jewel when it comes to research.
We are finding the solutions to the world's worst chronic disease, which is obesity. Louisiana needs Pennington Biomedical.
His name was King. He had a horse along the countryside. I saw him ride. One day they found him.
The interior of an Infiniti is thoughtfully designed to be all about you. And by you, we mean every version of you. Because there's luxury you can feel, and there's luxury that lets you feel. Infinitely you. Experience luxury like never before with Infiniti Premium Care, included with the 2023 QX80 at your local retailer.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Hey, boat owners, check it out. It is the holiday season, which means it's time to buy yourself a gift by taking your boat to the next level with our friends at Front to Back Boat Service. Now is the perfect time to upgrade your boat and get it ready for that warmer weather, whether that's trolling motors, HD sonar, anything and everything. The Sherman family's been at it for 30 years, and Devin's going to take you through 30.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com.
I wasn't sure, Alondra, if you were going Beastie Boys or Zeppelin there. Very similar. It's rhyming and stealing, right? And then when the levee breaks, they have very, very similar structures. They're very similar melodies.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, I didn't know
that
which direction.
That song's been like stuck in my head.
Which one?
Rhyming and Stealing. Yeah, because I go to the gym and I put it on.
Oh, see, that sounded like a little gym flex is what that was. That was just like a little humble brag. Like, oh, yeah, I was at the gym.
Yeah,
I do that all the time, Alondra, because I get up and I go at 5:30 in the morning. So when when y'all are still sleeping.
I'm not sleeping at 5. I'm at work.
No, I'm not saying you. I'm talking to the audience now.
I'm bragging too, though.
But you have to work at 5:30. See, then it would actually be, because you work that early, it would actually be, I get up at 3:30 to go to the gym. That's what you would have to say.
Right?
Otherwise, I mean, you're just going to work and then you go to the gym after. Yeah. You get up at 2:30. So Alondra produces Haldane's show on Talk 107.3.
For real, I get up at 4.
God, I hate mornings.
Yeah.
Morning radio sucks. Yeah. God, it sucks so bad. And like Hester and T-Bob, God bless, they actually cheat a little bit because they start at 7.
Right. They get an extra hour.
Yes. Yeah. 7 o'clock. No morning show starts at 7 a.m. So like they actually cheat a little bit, going 7 to 10, because most morning radio shows would go 6 to 10 or 6 to 9 a.m. As far as how the day part is structured. Like if you're looking at how ratings work in the day part, it would start at like 5. But anyway, but man, those days whenever, like, there was a time, I'm straying a little, so I apologize. I'll get it back on track here in a second. But there was a time in my early, when I was doing news radio, where I would anchor news for Metro Networks, which was a subsidiary of Westwood One. And so I was in the Baton Rouge Bureau, and so I would anchor reports and my first one had to be filed at 5:30 a.m. So it's not just like you have to be at work at 5:30. You have to have been at work, written your report, and then voiced it, but you have to voice it at 5:30 like it's the middle of the day for you. You can't sound like it's the first words out of your mouth. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So it's like you're awake at 3:30, coffee, shower, whatever. You're at work at 4:30, whatever it is, researching, writing, doing all the Ron Burgundy, unique New York. The Human Torch was denied the bank loan. I literally used to do that driving to work. I would do the Ron Burgundy Anchorman scene,
It's brutal.
Lanolin, like sheep's wool, just to do vocal exercise to warm up my jaw. Yeah, I'm Ron Burgundy.
I've done that before.
I know. Well, yeah, it works, actually. That's why you do it. Okay, all that, I don't know why we just did all that, but we did, dagnabbit. We'll talk to Mike Triplet coming up in less than 30 minutes from right now. Okay, every single Thursday before we kick off the weekend, Muse, Paulie, and I give you 3 things we're watching during the football weekend, but Muse isn't here, so Alondra will take the baton from Muse. Hit it, Alondra.
I don't know if this is right.
Here's what we're watching this football weekend.
That girl, you found it.
Let's go.
Hey, it's going to be a hella good day, Alondra. You found the right drop. Alondra, start us off.
All right. So for those of you who don't know, I am an original Texan. Grew up in a UT household.
Ooh.
So, of course, my what to watch today is going to be number 7 Texas hosting number 18 Oklahoma State in Arlington at AT&T Stadium. So definitely looking forward to that.
Okay.
See Quinn Ewers maybe ball out.
Oh, do you have the little swoosh?
Oh,
we have a transition
I do. I had to do it.
We watched.
Nope, that's
now
not it.
let's review.
Nope. That's what we do on Mondays after we watch it. Give me the swoosh.
Here's what we're watching.
Just did
this
that one as well. Wrong button.
Yeah. Okay, I don't have
You'll find
them.
the right button somewhere over there. There you go.
I got to do that again.
There you go. Do it again. Do it. There it is. All right, Paulie.
All right, so for championship weekend, I'll be watching the Tulane Green Wave. They are 11-1 and first in the American Conference. and they return to the New Year's Six Bowl games. They only have one loss, and that was against Ole Miss with a backup quarterback, and they should have won that game as well.
No, they shouldn't have.
I think they should have.
No, they shouldn't.
They put up a good fight.
They put up a good fight. They were on their home field, and it unraveled late on them.
I'll say, yeah, it unraveled in the fourth quarter.
But they shouldn't have won the game.
It was a good fight.
Alondra.
Oh,
thank you.
There you go.
How about the only conference championship game that actually matters for all of the one-loss teams, and that's the ACC. Every conference championship game has, well, the ones that matter, not the one that Paulie just talked about that no one's going to watch with the little boys playing football. It's Louisville, Florida State. No Jordan Travis. The line on this game is 2. If Louisville upsets Florida State, that opens up the conversation for all of the one-loss teams. Texas, Bama, potentially Oregon. That's the most consequential one because if Florida State beats Louisville and are undefeated, they are in the playoff. You're not keeping out an undefeated ACC champ Florida State. So if Louisville pulls the upset, now you got real chaos because now we're looking at how the committee is going to measure all these one-loss teams.
Found it.
Oh, she found it. You're on a roll, Alondra. Let's go.
All right. The next game that I'm going to watch is probably the same one everybody else is going to be watching. Number 8 Alabama is going to be hosting number 1 Georgia. I'll definitely have at 3 p.m. on ABC.
CBS. Got it.
Dang, I'm struggling.
She's on the struggle bus today.
I'm on the struggle bus.
How about the old Joe Namath? I don't care that my team is struggling. Remember when he kissed Susie Colbert on Monday Night Football? I think Joe straightened himself out a little bit. That's good. He was, hitting the bottle a little hard back in the day.
I mean, we all do.
Shout out to Broadway Joe. Oh, that was it. Okay.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm going to watch. So,
Paulie, you're next.
To the NFL, I'll be watching Broncos, Texans. Both teams 6-5. Yeah. Broncos have won 5 straight. Texans have won 4 out of the last 6. They're both fighting for a wild card spot, and this could potentially be an elimination game for those two teams.
I'm watching Browns and Rams.
Why?
Thank you, Paulie. You may ask yourself, Matt, why are you watching Browns-Rams?
Matt, why are you watching Browns-Rams?
Thanks for asking, Paul. Although you actually did it. Deshaun Watson's hurt, right? So he's out for the rest of the year?
Yeah.
Do you know who the Browns signed at quarterback?
That was Joe Flacco, wasn't it?
Yeah. Joe Flacco is practicing today, and there are reports that he could start for the Cleveland Browns on Sunday. Joe Flacco, former Super Bowl MVP back in 2012 in the Dome when Beyonce made all the lights go out. That Super Bowl that many years ago when the Ravens beat Kaepernick, Jim Harbaugh, and the Niners, that Joe Flacco was signed by the Cleveland Browns. That Joe Flacco that was with the Jets a year ago, that Joe Flacco could very well be starting against the Rams on Sunday for the Cleveland Brownies. That, Paulie, is why I'm going to be watching the Browns and the Rams, and literally no other reason. And I'm probably not going to watch the game, but I'm going to be interested to see if Joe Flacco starts that game, because I do like watching a good dumpster fire. Who doesn't?
That would be one of them, yes.
That would be a dumpster fire.
Okay, the last game that I'm gonna watch this weekend is gonna be number 16 Iowa and number 2 Michigan. It's gonna be at 7 p.m. on Fox in Indiana. I don't know why it's gonna be in Indiana, but
it's in Indianapolis.
Yeah.
They do it at Lucas Oil Stadium.
Yes.
That's where they play the game.
So I'm gonna watch that one because I have nothing better to do on a Saturday night. So.
Oh, Alondra, that's so sad.
Not really. I mean, I like not doing anything.
Oh, okay.
Wait, can I go back to Deshaun Watson real fast?
Yeah, please,
okay.
by all means. Yes,
so
go.
I saw this picture on Instagram. This girl posted a picture with Deshaun Watson,
Okay.
and apparently they're dating. Deshaun Watson has a girlfriend, and people in the comments were like, "Does she not know?" Does she not know?
Can we just? Alondra, what do you think? He's never gonna. The guy signed a what's his contract? $230 million guaranteed? Like, do you think he's not ever going to get a date? He's a young guy. He's super rich. He's an NFL quarterback. He's a good-looking dude.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, so like I'm not trying to in any way like diminish the allegations,
Right.
but they were also allegations, and every
That's
one
fair.
of those women took money to go away. So it's like, were you really off put, or was the? We don't need to walk down that road. I don't know what happened. I know it was alleged. We all know it was alleged. We all know that all these women took money to go away.
Yeah.
So was it a coup? I don't know.
I just think
Don't
the
know.
comments on stuff are way funnier than the actual posts.
So that's
always are.
true, and that's
Yeah.
true with all of OJ's tweets.
Yeah.
Like I follow OJ on Twitter just so whenever he tweets, I can go read the comments.
Correct.
Because it's nothing but
There was one he was like,
knife
I'm going to go
puns.
crazy if they close all the golf courses. And someone was like, how crazy are we talking?
Yeah, I know. It's nothing but knife and murder puns, which I get is in poor taste, but this is a man that murdered 2 people savagely. And do not tweet me, do not message me that he was acquitted. I'm not interested. OJ murdered 2 people. We all know he murdered 2 people. Okay, so shut up. All right, hit your little script.
There you go.
Paulie.
49ers, Eagles. This is the battle of the top 2 teams in the NFC.
Yes, it
The
is.
Eagles are looking to take command and pull away with the number 1 seed. They had a game of the year last week against Buffalo. Very nice. 49ers beat the Seahawks last week.
Yeah, not if you had Buffalo +3.
Yeah, that would be good. I assume that was you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
Let's be honest. The thing that all of us care the most about this weekend is the Pac-12 championship game. We all want to watch Bo Nix throw up on himself. We want Bad Bo from Auburn to show up. We want him to throw 3 picks, fumble a couple of times, maybe literally piss his pants on national TV. That would be great as well. And for Oregon to stumble, to get absolutely pimp-slapped by Washington, for Michael Penix to go off and throw for like 500, and for Oregon to lose and Jaden Daniels to ascend to the throne that is rightfully his and win the Heisman Trophy. So, yes, we can talk about all these other things, but literally none of them matter nearly as much as the Pac-12 championship game, just because we all want to watch Bo Nix suck. And so I would encourage everybody to get out your Bo Nix voodoo dolls, stab him in the groin,
The eye.
poke him in the eye, in the
Armpit.
buttocks, the what?
The armpit.
Armpit,
Okay.
the groin. I don't want to wish injury upon him,
No.
but like when he's going to go to throw a pass, stab the voodoo doll in the armpit, and then maybe he just like short arms it.
Twitches,
Yeah. Go ahead and throws a pick. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
I'm down.
All right. That's what to watch this football weekend. All right. It is after further review. We're glad you're hanging out with us here. We'll knock out a quick break and wrap up hour number 2. Mike Triplet's coming up in 30 minutes from right now. Coming up after the top of the hour. Some really fascinating news about the future of the college football playoff that we'll get to as well. Stick around and AFR.
AFR.
Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Rouse's.com, Rouse's.com. Holiday season's upon us, y'all. The weather is getting cold. Maybe you need some great holiday and cold weather wintertime recipes like gumbos and etouffees. They got them over at Rouse's. Go to the website. They also got holiday party trays. So if you're having that Christmas party, that holiday party, you want to get grab-and-go trays, something specific made, they can custom make a tray for you, a party tray for you, or you can get the grab-and-go that they already have pre-made at Rouse's. Go to any of the Rouse's location. They got the floral department. They got the bakery for all of your cakes and desserts that you need. Of course, all your wine and spirits. If you're going to that holiday party, you need to bring a bottle of wine, a bottle of whiskey. You can always grab it at Rouse's with great prices every single day. Craft beer and all of your other brands, it's at Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. It's Rouse's.com. Download the Rouse's app to learn more. Rouse's.com. Rouse's, this feels like home.
Bayou Ford is taking $10,000 off MSRP on all new 23 Ford F-150 Black Widow trucks, plus $2,750 discount APR and 5.9% for 72 months. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust Poll of the Day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, live at lunch on Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the Poll of the Day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
I'm Chris Nakamoto, and here's what I'm working on for my stories on WBRZ Channel 2 tonight. A corruption scheme that led to the resignation of a top state official appears to be getting wider. This week, federal prosecutors charged a business owner in Lafayette with conspiracy in a bribery scheme that links back to an employee at the Baton Rouge District Attorney's Office. Hear what actions District Attorney Hiller Moore took. I'm Chris Nakamoto from WBRZ. Watch more tonight on WBRZ Channel 2.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com.
Scott Shirley sent a text and said, how about a matchlorette opportunity for Alondra? I'm going to work on how to spell Alondra as well.
You spell it for the people real quick?
Well, it's Alondra. He spelled it. It's good effort, but he had a lot of letters in there. Alejandra. Alejandra. That's a few extra syllables that he had in there. Alondra, are you interested in, now that season 1 of The Matchler has come and gone so successfully, with Musso going on a date with Sydney G, and supposedly there will be a second date. Are you interested in The Matchlorette?
I'm going to have to pass on that one.
Oh. Alondra, why?
I don't want to do it. Not interested.
I mean, are you not interested because you're worried about like weirdo radio listeners who you like would pool you might be fishing in there?
Yeah, that's definitely a concern, yeah.
Well, I mean, you would get to choose.
I would get to choose. But what if like the options aren't great? You know what I mean?
Well, it's just one date, then you don't go on a second date. It happens.
I'll think about it for sure. I'll definitely think about it.
Not a bad thought. Scott, respect Scott Shirley for throwing it out there.
Shout out, Scott.
He's not the first to mention the possibility of Alondra or Alejandra. All right, it's after further review. SportsCenter's coming up. Get you caught up on national headlines in just a bit. With all the transfer portal news, this is one of local significance, personally too. Jordan Clark has entered the transfer portal. Of course, Jordan is Ryan's son. But has carved his own path, played locally here at U-High, and signed with Arizona State, went to play for Herm Edwards out there. And we know that, it went very badly there with Herm, Kenny Dillingham taking over. And they've just had a lot of struggles at Arizona State. When Jordan signed there, was there with Jaden Daniels and Ricky Pearsall and Brandon Ayuk, and they're pretty good. And obviously that was a program that got hit with sanctions and just a lot of issues. But Jordan has hit the portal as a graduate with 1 year of eligibility remaining. So I know LSU will certainly be in the market for defensive back or defensive backs. We'll see. One thing that I'm quite comfortable saying is that a lot of people ask why Jordan didn't go to LSU coming out of high school. He did not have a committable offer coming out of U High, which is why he didn't go to LSU initially. So he carved his own path and went to Arizona State, and has played in a lot of games over at Arizona State. Obviously, he has the COVID year, so he would be so this was his 5th season, so he will be a 6th-year player wherever he elects to go. So it'd be very much like a Joe Fouché, Greg Brooks, Jark Bernard Converse type situation where you'd be talking about a super senior wherever he elects to go, a guy that's undersized but has played a ton of football and is a great team guy. So I'm not sure if there would be interest from LSU, but that's a defensive back with local ties. As Brian Kelly has said, he wants to recruit Louisiana players back to LSU. It would be curious to see if that's an option that might be on the table for LSU and for Jordan Clark. So we'll keep an eye on that. So Jordan Clark will look to play a 6th collegiate season somewhere. Potentially LSU. He's entered the portal, leaving Arizona State. All right, it's After Further Review. We're glad you're hanging out with us here. Brought to you by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. All right, we'll knock out a quick break. When we come back, some interesting college football playoff update news, and Nick Saban already starting to lobby his case.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. I had a great chat earlier today with Brandon Holly. And tell you what, man, I say it all the time. Relief Windows, they're just the best. I saw this review on Facebook. By far, the best experience I've ever had with a window installer. From the initial meeting with their salesman, to constant updates, the dedicated installers, plus the installation was about 3 weeks earlier than I'd expected. Great people, great pricing, great windows. A 5-star review from John W. My experience is similar to that. Listen, there's probably places you can go that might offer you like cut rate prices and stuff like that. But what are you getting? Are you getting great installers? Are you getting a reputable company? A company that's been around, that's going to do beautiful work and stand by it, will never take $1 from you till they're done and you're thrilled? That's Relief Windows. Experience, quality, and service. Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I'm Tom Granick with Go Martin, Wardo's Po' Boys in Natchez, Mississippi. On behalf of the Granick family, we invite you to run, walk, or stroll in the 2nd annual Rudolph Roll. Held on the beautiful Natchez Bluff, this holiday event will kick off at 8 a.m. on December 9th and will include a 10K, 5K, and 1-mile kids fun run. Along with the race, there will be live music, drinks, and of course, po' boys. We're looking forward to an even bigger party this year. For more information, please check out the link on Wardo's Facebook page or scan the QR code. Hope to see y'all there.
It was a humid day, barefoot children play, looking for that summer shade. Time to slip away. Oh, Louisiana, some kind of hold on me. Like cypress stumps, your roots are planted deep inside of me.
Would a couple that just came from a couples massage have any use for the massage seats of the Infiniti QX60? Yes, it appears they would. With driver and passenger massage seats, mute all your notifications and feel infinitely you.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust poll of the day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, live at lunch on Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the poll of the day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. The 8-3 Cowboys host the 6-5 Seahawks to kick off Week 13 tonight in the NFL. The Cowboys are 5-0 at home this year. ESPN's Damian Woody.
Dallas is a different animal at home. They play with a different energy, a different swagger at home. And you can make the case, like, if there's a team that really, like, if you're fighting for home field advantage, there's a team that really could use it, Dallas.
Damian Woody on Get Up. Going back to last year, the Cowboys have won 13 straight at home. There's an arrest warrant in Dallas for Bills linebacker Von Miller. He's accused of assaulting a pregnant woman yesterday. The victim was treated at a hospital for minor injuries. The Bills are in their bye week. Curt Cignetti is the new head football coach of the Indiana Hoosiers. He's the Sun Belt Conference Coach of the Year after leading James Madison to an 11-1 season. Tiger Woods shoots a 3 over 75 in the first round of the Hero World Challenge in the Bahamas. He was 1 under after 14. It's Woods' first event in 7 months after fusion surgery on his right ankle.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Progressive makes bundling easy and affordable. Get a multi-policy discount by combining your motorcycle, RV, boat, ATV, and more. All your protection in one place. Bundle and save at Progressive.com.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
That's right.
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Alondra Villarreal. And Mr. Toby Tom Play. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you're driving home with us. Mike Triplet in less than 15 minutes from right now. This is pretty incredible. The college football playoff is still looking to secure its next major television rights deal for the playoff, the 12-team playoff that's expanding in 2024. And Front Office Sports has a report that they're considering a deal that would rotate the rights. So, like right now, all of the playoff games are on ESPN. They're considering a deal that would rotate the rights like the Super Bowl does. So you might have ESPN. They have interest from ESPN, Fox, NBC, Warner Brothers Discovery Sports. Alondra, what is Warner Brothers Discovery Sports?
Alondra's done for the day.
You don't sound like Alondra.
I do not sound like Alondra.
You don't look like Alondra either. Oh! A little shift change here. The brain is back. Hey, brain.
Hey, man.
I fired you years ago.
You fired me twice today in the parking lot.
I did fire you in the parking lot. But it's just once. Why does that never get old?
I don't know.
I don't know either. No, seriously, do you know what Warner Brothers Discovery Sports is?
No, I know what the Discovery Channel is.
Me too.
I know what what Warner Brothers is.
Can you Google Warner Brothers Discovery Sports for me, please?
I absolutely can.
Amazon Prime Video and Apple are all interested as well. So you could have a rotating college football playoff championship network, which could end up bringing rights deals akin to what the Super Bowl pulls in. By the way, we've said it forever. As soon as they made the dollars work for an expanded playoff, they were going to do it. And clearly, they're going to make the dollars work for an expanded football playoff. By the way, it also says in this report from Front Office Sports that expanding from 4 to 12 should help galvanize further interest in the sport with more teams theoretically capable of competing for a national championship. You don't say. Did you find anything, Brent?
I did, but it's a lot of corporate jargon. There's nothing that says it's like Channel 120 or something like that.
Okay.
It says Warner Brothers Discovery Sports represents WBD's portfolio of sports brands, channels, and platforms. It collectively reaches 130 million people every month, engaging fans and broad audiences in more than 200 markets and in over 20 yeah.
Catch. So, good catch. So does that mean, so would that be like the NCAA tournament that's on like CBS and Turner, right? And that's like Turner, TBS, TNT, CBS.
And True TV for some reason.
Thank you. That was the other one. Yeah.
Yeah, that one always gets mixed in. It sounds like it.
Regardless, there won't have to be as much lobbying next year because, for example, you look right now at all the one-loss teams and how that pecking order may go. And oddly, Alabama is the team that looks like they're the odd man out, even if they were to win this weekend. And you could have a very bizarre scenario where if Alabama beats Georgia, you could have the SEC left out of the college football playoff. That's a scenario that could unfold. If Michigan is undefeated, if Washington is undefeated, if Florida State is undefeated, and then you're deciding among the one-loss teams, well, you have one-loss Oregon. But I guess Oregon would have to lose to Washington in that scenario. You'd have one-loss Texas, one-loss Alabama. Well, one-loss Texas would be a conference champion with a head-to-head win over Alabama in Tuscaloosa. So there's a real scenario where, and I guess Georgia would be a one-loss team as well. There's a real scenario where the SEC gets left out. Nick Saban had his weekly visit on the McAfee show, and he's already doing his work, trying to lobby. Here was Saban earlier today.
Well, I think, first of all, I haven't paid a lot of attention to it because, we don't really control that. We have no control over that. We have control over how we play, how we execute, how we prepare our team, and that's where our focus is. I think there should be some representation from the SEC, regardless of who wins the game. Absolutely. I think this is one of the best leagues, in the country. And if you're a one-loss team and you play through this league, I think you're one of the best 4 teams in the country. So there's some kind of way there should be representation, some kind of way, because of the league itself and the competition in the league. But I don't pay a lot of attention to it because we can't control it. And I don't really want our players to pay attention to it either. I want them to focus on what they have to do to play well and have a chance to be successful in this game and have a chance to win the SEC championship.
All right, so there's Nick Saban on the McAfee show. And look, remember, Nick was lobbying and stumping a year ago as well for his team to get into it should they have won the SEC, which they didn't. Obviously, Georgia did, but they were still stumping. He was still stumping for the opportunity to get there. So I don't blame him. If you're a coach and you're in that situation, you have to lobby for your team. It's what the system mandates. But thankfully, next year, we're going to see less of that. Or the lobbying will come from teams 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. And as I've said forever and ever and ever, they have less of a leg to stand on. It's just going to be, God, it's going to be incredible next year. To think about how a 12-team playoff will look. Like if it were today, I'll spell this out again. And just to think of it. Like LSU, in the rankings that came out earlier this week, LSU's 13th. They're one spot out of the top 12. Like you'd be going into this weekend theoretically with still some outside miracle chance hope that you could get in. Georgia, Michigan, Washington, Florida State would all have a bye. Like if it were right now. Georgia, Michigan, Washington, Florida State would all have a bye. Oregon would host Oklahoma. Would you watch an Oregon-Oklahoma playoff game at Autzen Stadium?
I think I would.
Yeah, me too. What about Ohio State hosting Ole Miss at the Horseshoe?
Oh, I would definitely watch that.
Would you be interested in Texas hosting Penn State at Darrell K. Royal Texas Memorial Stadium in a playoff game?
I'm on board.
What about Alabama hosting Missouri?
No.
At Brian Dennehy Stadium?
No.
No? Why not?
No, just an anti-Alabama.
Yeah,
no, I would totally be on board with that. It's just seeing Missouri in the mix now and get two SEC teams playing postseason ball against each other.
Who wouldn't want this? We're getting it either way. I'm just floored at the people that push back. It's ruining the regular season. Oh, really? It would ruin. It's just going to make it more important. It's just going to make it more interesting for more teams longer. You're not going to be instead of spending the entire month of November wondering if LSU is going to the ReliaQuest Bowl or the Gator Bowl. It's what needs to happen to get back into the playoff mix. It's a dramatically better scenario than anything we've seen now. And we're all going to watch in massive numbers. Of course we are. It's going to be awesome. Can't wait for it. ReliaQuest Bowl against Notre Dame. Let's go. LFG. You pumped for it, Brain?
I can't tell you how pumped I am for that.
Neither quarterback's going to play in the game either.
Yeah, also great.
It's
also
Nussmeier's audition.
No, yeah.
Let's fuel up the Nuss bus.
Yeah, I'm there. And it's, of course, Kelly versus Notre Dame.
Well, that's why they're going to do it.
I mean, that's...
And I get it, but with a bunch of backups.
Exactly.
It's an exhibition. All right, it's after further review. Brain filling in for Alondra. Alondra's filling in for Musso. And anyway, we've had a little bit of musical chairs over there today, but we appreciate it. Thanks for coming back, Brain. We appreciate you. It's after further review. Let me knock out a quick break, y'all. We love talking to Mike Triplet, talk some Saints. Last hour, Jim Costa was here from 97, won the ticket up in Detroit. If you missed that, you want the latest on the Lions as they're coming down to the Dome on Sunday. You can catch that interview on demand, AFR on demand, presented by Breck Golf. Book your tee time at golf.breck.org, golf.breck.org. We'll now get a quick break, come back, talk to Mike Triplet at New Orleans Football. Stick around.
AFR.
Darin James and Associates, brokered by eXp Realty. Every home listed by every company, all in one place. Agent225.com. Agent225.com. Love sharing all the reviews, the raving fan shout-outs, as they call them. And this one came in on Zillow. It said, Darin and his team made the entire process simple. They kept us well informed the entire time. The best real estate company I have ever dealt with. Very professional, experienced, and helpful. Highly recommend. Another 5-star review for Darin James and Associates, brokered by eXp Realty. Bottom line is, if you're thinking about selling your home, if you're buying or selling, why would you call anyone other than the realtor that sells more homes than anyone? Remember, with Darin James, he's got his guaranteed sale program. Sit down with Darin, agree to a price and a deadline. If he doesn't sell your home at that price by that deadline, he'll have your home bought with cash, or he'll sell it absolutely free. It's easy. Just call Darin James, 335-7666, or agent225.com.
Think real estate, think Darin James.
Life in Louisiana is a song. A symphony of sound, colors, and movement. Life is here, now. For life's moments, big and small, always there. The right card, the right care.
The interior of an Infiniti is thoughtfully designed to be all about you. And by you, we mean every version of you. Because there's luxury you can feel, and there's luxury that lets you feel. Infinitely you. Experience luxury like never before with Infiniti Premium Care, included with the 2023 QX80 at your local retailer.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Hey, boat owners, check it out. It is the holiday season, which means it's time to buy yourself a gift by taking your boat to the next level with our friends at Front to Back Boat Service. Now is the perfect time to upgrade your boat and get it ready for that warmer weather, whether that's trolling motors, HD sonar, anything and everything. The Sherman family's been at it for 30 years, and Devin's going to take you through 30 more. Find them on Facebook at Front to Back Boat Service or go to fronttobackboatservice.com.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com.
Mike! Yeah?
Saints coverage with some Mad Libs mixed in.
Why don't you just go by Mike?
It's time to talk black and gold with Mike Triplet of New Orleans Football, presented by Benny's Car Wash, family owned and operated since 1951.
All right, let's do it. Mike Triplet, New Orleans Football, good enough to be with us here. Mike, we appreciate you, man. How are you?
Doing good. How are you?
Doing great. I want to start with the red zone conversation because Nick Underhill over at New Orleans Football had the interaction with with Derek Carr about the red zone. That some said kind of got. I don't know that it was contentious, Mike, but I think Derek Carr's answer was a little silly. You can be evasive and not give an answer, but you don't typically say, "I'm being evasive and not giving you an answer." I'll just start with a reaction to what Derek Carr had to say when he was asked about the red zone struggles.
Well, there were a couple different things. One, that has been a common refrain from Derek Carr since he got here and when he was with the Raiders, is that he says, internal conversations about process and problems I've identified. He always says, "You guys know me. I'm not gonna tell you that stuff, but I appreciate you asking." It's a common line from him. Okay. But you can react to it however you want. But I was actually and wrote a story about the red zone earlier, and Nick was following up on it. But I was asking early, I mean, there's narrative, and you can say some narrative gets spun out of control, and there's obviously a lot more nuance to it. And we just saw in this last game, it wasn't all Derek Carr's fault. He threw a really bad interception. Taysom Hill lost. Ramczyk was spiked for holding twice. A.T. Perry stopped running a route. I mean, a lot of things go wrong. But it's now been 2 years of this. That was a storyline for Derek Carr before he came here, that he had the lowest completion percentage in the league inside the 10-yard line last year. And now he drastically has it again this year. He's 5 of 25 inside the 12-yard line. And so it's 2 years in a row. He ranks 36th out of 36 quarterbacks qualifying and all these stats and statistics. And I flat out asked about him. I said, it's a big sample size now. Does this keep you up at night? And, he did, he said he doesn't really pay attention to that kind of stuff, the stats and stuff. Obviously, he said they're paying attention to the red zone issues. But, you can react however you want to that. I mean, some people do want to hear, I've got to be better. Those numbers are unacceptable to me. I think a lot of people want to hear the word unacceptable coming out of Dennis Allen's mouth a lot more. And I asked Dennis Allen about that this week, and he said, just because we can be poised in a press conference doesn't mean we're not, treating it as critically urgent, important, and unacceptable in the meeting rooms and when we're working on it in the offices. So I think people want to hear more. I think after these last two games, especially how badly the Minnesota and Atlanta games went, I think everybody wants to hear that they're calling all this stuff unacceptable. They don't want to hear positive spin, and I guess that's sort of the nature of the business.
Well, you got positive spin from Mickey Loomis as well on the radio show this week, and he continued to insist that they have the right people in the building. Mike, I'm going to ask you an opinion question. You're like, do you believe that? Do you believe they have the right people to fix this?
Well, I think it's somewhere in between. I don't think this team's good enough. I mean, I think the sample size is too big. For a lot of this season, I believe there was untapped potential, and there still is untapped potential. They have not lived up to their potential. But I think this team's got a lot of flaws. And the fact that the defense has become so mortal in recent weeks and let Atlanta just set the tone and run all over them, I think was really disturbing. That was the one thing you were supposed to be able to count on, and now the defense has been letting them down. And I do think we all want to roll our eyes at hey, we've got all these yards. When you don't have points, it doesn't mean anything. But since week 6, they are third in the NFL in yards per game. It's the Cowboys, the Lions, and the Saints, which is kind of stunning to me. But those are reasons to be like, hey, we have fixed some things. We have fixed the pass protection. We have started to move the ball better. That's not good enough, but if you're telling me that gives us hope that we can fix these other problems, then I'm willing to listen to that. But the product over the final 6 weeks has to be drastically better than the product we've seen at any point this season.
We'll come to the defense in a second, but I want to stay on the red zone thing for just a second because you did mention the A.T. Perry give it up on the route. Well, Mike, no Mike Thomas this week. We know that. Olave and Shaheed both could be out as well. So realistically, what do they have there as far as pass catchers?
Well, hopefully Olave is part of it since he practiced the last 2 days, and we'll find out if you practice and then you get evaluated to see if you make it through the concussion protocol. And I almost feel like they seem optimistic that Olave will play because I feel like you would have had to have brought another just warm body into the building if you were worried Olave wasn't going to play this week. There's only 6 receivers on the roster of the practice squad combined, and one of those is John Trey Kirkland, who hasn't played for them. So if it's not Olave, it's like A.T. Perry, Lynn Bowden, Marquez Callaway, Keith Kirkwood. Those guys will play no matter what, but you'd rather have them be complimenting Olave, and then I think it's possible Jimmy Graham gets activated for this game. Not that he'll play a big role, but he's kind of a pass catcher only, so he kind of helps to fill that receiver void, I would suspect. But that's slim pickings no matter what.
Mike Triplet, NewOrleans.football. Our chat's brought to you every week by Benny's Car Wash, Benny'sCarWash.com. Great holiday special. Check them out, Benny'sCarWash.com. All right, let's go to the defensive issues, Mike. This was supposed to be, it has been Dennis Allen's calling card. I feel like this has been a recurring theme when you and I talk every week, at least the past several weeks. Where is this defensive erosion coming from? What's the root of it?
Well, this last game, their run defense was lousy, and we saw hints of that too against Indianapolis. Although Indianapolis, it was more a couple of big plays, and they were a little better, but there have not been a lot of teams this year that have really tested them with a traditional run game. We've talked about the quarterbacks getting leaky yardage against them, but they've just only faced a few teams that are like, no, we're going to run the ball with our running backs 30 times in this game, and that's what we want to do. So it was really disturbing to see how easily they got pushed around up front. I don't think they have a good run-stopping defensive front. It's 2 years in a row now. They tried to change that, and I don't think they fixed that. And they're going to get tested by another team that runs the ball well and often in Detroit this week. So I think that's the root of their biggest problem is, the defensive line hasn't been good enough against the run, whether it's quarterbacks or running backs.
And, I mean, just looking at whole, not only the line, Lattimore's out, Marcus May's injured, Cam Jordan, Pete Werner. I mean, all these guys didn't practice. They will see what it means by the time we get to Sunday, but I mean, realistically, Mike, who's going to be out there for this team against one of the best offenses in the NFL?
And this, unlike the last couple of years, this has not been the storyline this year. It hasn't been health, and now all of a sudden it's just an avalanche of health issues to really important players. I mean, the fact that they already signed Jonathan Abram to their active roster at safety makes me think they're not expecting to have Marcus May. I guess the jury's still out on both Pete Werner and Cam Jordan. It'd be nice to see them practice on Friday. I think those guys are going to play. We don't know the exact extent of their injuries, even though I think I've heard they're both going to try to fight through it. But, yeah, and we know Marshawn Lattimore's not going to play. So all of a sudden, that attrition was not something you were dealing with, and it's double whammy right now because this is without question the best offense they're going to face all year.
And it's odd to say with the Lions, but I mean, they are the third best passing offense, or the sixth best rushing offense, or the seventh best scoring offense. I mean, this is a great team that's going to challenge you. By the way, randomly, Mike, what the Jason Pierre-Paul thing? I mean, I get it that he's going home to Miami, but what happened there, and what are they not going to add another end to replace him?
Well, what's so strange about that is, like, I mean, I almost think it's bad luck. Like, Nick and Brooke on the show were more worked up about it than me, and it makes perfect sense. Once you decided that you were going to play him, you should have just gone ahead and signed him to the active roster, because they've had this guy on their team all year, Kyle Phillips, a veteran defensive end that they signed in August, and he's been using up a 53-man roster spot all year long, and they sort of were like, oh, we need a defensive end because Isaiah Foskey's hurt, and they decided to take Jason Pierre-Paul off the street and move him ahead of Kyle Phillips. It kind of made me wonder, well, why didn't you just sign Jason Pierre-Paul in August or September, or October, November?
Yeah.
But the idea that it's like malpractice and mismanagement, that they didn't know that they had to sign Jason Pierre-Paul to the active roster, it's like, well, the entire league could have signed him the entire year. He wasn't with the team from February through the end of November. So to think the league was going to line up to grab him, I don't know. I mean, I use like Jarvis Landry as an example. What if they signed Jarvis Landry this week to fill in at receiver? Do they need to be worried that someone else is going to want to take Jarvis Landry from them? I mean, there's some bad luck, but it would have been so easy to be like, hey, we know we're playing him this week. And Nick made the point. Everyone was probably going to be like, oh, I wonder if he has anything left in the tank. There were going to be more eyeballs on him than other players. So he should have just gone ahead and signed him to the 53.
A couple more for you. Again, on Twitter at Mike Triplet. Get us stuff over at neworleans.football, neworleans.football. Of course, Nick, Brooke, Mike, they do great stuff over there. Our chats with Mike brought to you every week by Benny's Car Wash, bennyscarwash.com. Okay, specifically Sunday, Mike, let's talk big picture. What a win on Sunday versus a loss on Sunday, what does this mean, the result Sunday mean for the Saints?
I actually think a win means more than a loss. I think a win would be an eye-opener. I mean, they need a win like this. They need something to hang their hat on. We're already having the conversations about, what does Dennis Allen do to save his job? Is he on the hot seat? What is this team's identity that, Alvin Kamara said this team doesn't have an identity. Yeah. You beat a team like Detroit, it's the signature winning your season no matter how you do it, especially with all the injuries they're talking about. But if you lose, it's just like, well, yeah, of course they lost. They got killed by Minnesota. They got killed by Atlanta. They're going to get killed by a good team. But I don't think it destroys the season because, they still then the next week have Carolina at home, who's terrible, the Giants at home, who are terrible, Atlanta and Tampa Bay in the final 2 weeks of the season. And it's still, you go 9-8, you probably win the NFC South, no matter what happens in this game. So I think there's more to gain than to lose, but, it's been too long since their last win. So I also think if they come out and look sloppy early, I think we're going to hear a lot of boos in the Superdome. Yeah. And I think that's a danger of having a good opponent come in at home. It's a hostile environment with fan base right now.
3 of the last 4 have been on the road, and 4 of the last 6 have been on the road too. So the Saints finally get the friendly confines of the Dome, what could be the friendly confines of the Dome for 3 straight weeks. So maybe that's something that could help them turn it around. All right, Mike, how do they manage to get a win against Detroit on Sunday?
Detroit's defense isn't great. It's good, but it's not great. So all the stuff they've been pointing to, saying the last 6 or 7 weeks, they think their offense has gotten better. They think their offensive line has gotten better. They finally think they've started to run the ball the last couple weeks, and it's just their mistakes in the red zone that are killing them. Well, they got to prove that. They need to move the ball like they've been moving it. This defense won't stop them from moving the ball. This defense isn't that much better than Minnesota's defense or Atlanta's defense. They just have to finish the job by scoring points. How they're going to stop Detroit from scoring? How they're going to stop Detroit from running the ball and running out the clock on them if Detroit gets a lead? I think that's a much tougher task.
Yeah. He is Mike Triplet, NewOrleans.football. Chats every week brought to you by Benny's Car Wash, Benny'sCarWash.com. Mike, we appreciate it, man. Thanks so much.
Thanks for having me.
Man, be well. We'll talk again next week. It is After Further Review. Stick around. Otter Locks in about 15 minutes here on AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Clegg's Nursery. 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area. You know where to find them. Seagan, near Airline, LA 16 in Denham. Mid-City on Don Moore. Of course, the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. Get by any of the 4 Clegg's Nursery locations and get that Christmas tree, y'all. They have got a lot full of Christmas trees, all different sizes, from the 4-foot all the way up to the 12-foot and bigger Christmas trees. You want the best selection of full, beautiful, real Christmas trees. Get them at Clegg's Nursery. Any of the 4 Clegg's Nursery locations. Remember, they've also got pre-lit Christmas trees. So if you want the artificial pre-lit tree, they got a great selection of those. And they've got poinsettias. They had the poinsettia open house this past Sunday at the Greenwell Springs location. 10,000 poinsettias. It was a sight to behold. If you want to see it, go check out their Facebook page. But get by any of the Clegg's Nursery locations to pick out your poinsettias, your Christmas tree, all your Christmas decor. Buy local, shop local. Tell them Matt sent you in to Clegg's Nursery.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Bayou Ford is taking $10,000 off MSRP on all new 23 Ford F-150 Black Widow trucks, plus $2,750 discount APR and 5.9% for 72 months. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Would a couple that just came from a couples massage have any use for the massage seats of the Infiniti QX60? Yes, it appears they would. With driver and passenger massage seats, mute all your notifications and feel infinitely you.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 988.
Fell
104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and Citizens Bank and Trust invite you to bling in the holidays. Register today at 1045ESPN.com to win a $10,000 custom piece of jewelry handcrafted by Stuart Selassie himself. Bling in the holidays with Citizens Bank and Trust, Selassie Jewelry, and 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com.
Tiger fans, be a part of the ultimate LSU experience on Sunday, December 3rd, when you finish on the 50-yard line at the Our Lady of the Lake Health Tiger 10K. Visit 1045ESPN.com today to register for a free pair of race entries, and for more information, visit Tiger10K.com. Got 2 of the promos done, Matt.
Great job, Ray. You do this job long enough, and they're just weird days. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
It's just the nature of it. Like, you... there's a lot of professions where when you have a bad day, like, you just leave. You take a half day.
Mm-hmm.
You catch up on... There's no such thing in this profession as that. Like, 3 o'clock, they're opening the mic, and I got to be on. We got a 3-minute break, and I got to be back. The mic to be on. Sometimes nature calls. You got to go. And in the middle of that Mike Triplet interview, bro, I ain't trying to gross nobody, but it was like... I mean, we cut off the mic after the Cleggs live. Gone.
Mad dash.
Down the hall.
To be fair, you were talking about the Saints, so I understand the triggers.
But it's not just that, obviously. I mean, if you're just joining us, we found out late in the day, like Muse had something come up and had to leave kind of abruptly earlier today, and so Alondra was great enough to hang out and produce the beginning of the show, and then Brain kind of came in, so he's finishing the show. So it's just been a weird day. You know what I mean? Just a weird. They happen. Weird days happen. For everybody in their profession. Today's one of those types of days. Brandon, you got any why I'm gonna ask this question, but I'm gonna ask this question. Do you have any urgent bathroom stories in your radio career?
Very similar to what just happened to you, except I did not make it back as quickly.
Oh no.
Yeah. I had a the call, as it were.
Yes.
Made my way around to the restroom.
Was it here or was that
I actually have I forgot about the one at the other place where I got locked out.
To tell this
no,
story.
It was bad.
Oh, no.
Okay, so
you got locked out.
I got locked out of the studio because you had the little punch code, and it just wasn't taking the number 4.
Oh no!
And so you remember over there on Hilton Avenue?
Yeah.
Because the bathroom.
I had a key card.
Do what?
I remember having a key
to
card.
get in the front door. To get in that back door by where the studio, where
that was
1210 was?
Okay.
Yeah, that back door by the news bullpen.
Okay.
You had to punch in the number.
I don't remember that.
And there
been
was
a long time.
It has been a long. It's been, well, for me, 12 years. For you, even longer.
Yeah, I came here in 2010.
Yeah. Well, then,
January
13 years.
January of 2010.
Man, that happened fast. But yeah, the bathroom was like the caddy corner around a large lobby atrium area.
I remember where the bathroom
was.
was.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, sprint over there, photo finish, sprint back, buttons don't work, no one else in the building except for the host.
Katrina coverage. WIBR. Those days were, I would produce for Ed Buggs from noon to 7 because we were wall-to-wall local. I was at the news desk doing the news reports from 7 to midnight. And then I anchored from midnight to 5 a.m. before Clay Young came in. And one of those days, it was it was about a month of just wall to wall, all this stuff. And one of those nights at like 3 in the morning,
yeah.
What do you do? They're looking for you. Hey, man. Hey, bro, you just got to take it for a minute, bro. I don't know. Take a call. It's like, that's what people don't realize. in music radio, like all the old jocks will say, yeah, you play In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida or something like that, right? You play Stairway, the long version, and you go take a break. Ain't no such thing in talk radio. They don't exist.
Storm coverage. Okay, earlier today, the governor had a press conference. Here's the whole thing.
By the way, week 13 of the NFL kicks off tonight. LSU's got a Heisman Trophy candidate quarterback. Angel Reese makes her long-awaited return to the women's basketball team tonight. What did you have?
And the brain got a poop.
Oh, yeah. And the brain's here. I mean, my God.
And we're talking poop.
And we're talking. Who said poop? I didn't say poop.
I did. I'll own it.
Yeah.
That's that. No, I'll unveil that dirty little secret.
No, whenever
that whole conversation.
No, that was just like, I'm like Tom Hanks in A League of Their Own. Number one, you stand there for like 3.5 minutes. Just a stream that just won't stop. What?
I was on a different level there. I was speaking about something far more seated.
This is the worst conversation ever. But you know what, Brain? It's real.
You remember that part where you said, I have no idea why I'm going to ask you this, but I'm going to anyway?
Yeah.
Yeah, that happened.
I know. That was worth it. All right. All that conversation brought to you by South Point Volkswagen. Brain just turned red. Just beat red. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at southpointvw.com, southpointvw.com. You can get on by and take a test drive today. Remember, it's sign then drive. 0 down, 0 to its signing, no first month's payment, no security deposit. Sign your name with little else. You're driving away in a brand new vehicle from South Point Volkswagen. Airline just north of Highlander, southpointvw.com. Get on by, man. I love my Atlas Cross Sport. When you go to the homepage and scroll down a little bit, you'll see all the info on Sign Then Drive. So go to southpointvw.com, scroll down on the homepage a little bit, and you'll see all the info on Sign Then Drive. It's check out the Atlas Cross Sport. It's a great family SUV. If you don't need the third row, if you need the third row, just check out the Atlas at South Point Volkswagen. South Point Volkswagen, what's your direction? All right, week 13 of the NFL season does kick off tonight on Prime. It's Seattle against Dallas. Big one for Dallas is they're 8-3 on the season. They're 5-0 at home this year. Been incredible. And Dak Prescott has, over the last month, been the most prolific quarterback in college, or in the NFL over the last month. I mean, he's had the best statistical month. So can he keep it going against Seattle, which are 2-3 away from home? The Cowboys are a 9.5-point home favorite. Jimmy will be here in the next segment. We'll do Otter Locks. The biggest trend, one of the biggest trends of this NFL season have been primetime unders. So the total in this game is 47.5. We'll see if Jimmy likes that or he has a feel on that total. But a big opportunity here for Dallas as they're 8-3 on the season. A chance with San Francisco to try to keep pace in their chase for Philadelphia for the 1 seed there in the NFC. So Dallas and Seattle tonight on Thursday Night Football. We'll get to Otter Locks coming up, find out where the Otter's laying his money, and we'll most likely follow suit. And then, of course, you do have LSU women's basketball tonight. This is yes, Brain? It was a big cheer.
A little fist pump right there.
8 o'clock Central, so a little bit of a later start for women's basketball tonight. But Angel Reese returns, and it's interesting because if you were to go to the homepage I don't know if I'm just being fed this because LSU is one of my preferences, but on the homepage of ESPN.com, like what would be like above the fold on a news, like the main story there on the homepage of ESPN.com is inside the highly anticipated return of Angel Reese. I mean, it's literally the front story at ESPN.com right now. So
on the way into work this morning, sorry to interrupt.
No, you're good.
We do from 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock on 4 a.m. to 5 a.m. on 107.3. We have the Fox News Rundown. Angel Reese made the cut for that 1 minute, 60 seconds of sports, and Angel Reese makes her return tonight. That was part of Fox News. No algorithms, just a national report.
That's crazy. I mean, it's not altogether that unbelievable. I mean, she literally went overnight from someone who was known in women's college basketball to a viral international sensation. I mean, the president was tweeting about her. She was parodied on SNL. She ends up in the SI swimsuit issue. national endorsement deals with Reebok, and it's pretty incredible, her rise and how she has been such a cornerstone and one of the most notable figures in sports, not just in women's sports. I mean, she won an ESPY, and it's incredible. So, yeah, there's going to be a lot of people keeping an eye on this. And the game tonight, of course, is a rematch of the national semifinal a year ago where LSU beat Virginia Tech. Angel Reese, Liz Kitley, who's the center for I've always feel weird saying the big when you're talking about women's basketball. Is that okay, Brandon? You're a noted or girls basketball coach. Can I call her a big?
Yeah, I think so.
You know, like in men's in the NBA, say, it's the bigs banging bodies down low.
Right.
It feels inappropriate calling a girl a big.
No, it's perfectly legit.
Okay.
At least in 6th grade it is, where my level of expertise is. It's
still searching for that first win.
Undefeated last year.
In reverse.
No.
Never won a game. Brandon, when you were producing the show, your team couldn't even score a bucket.
That was a different team altogether. We hit the transfer portal. We pulled a girl out of St. Thomas More.
It started popping NIL deals.
We got them going, man.
You went in the collection plate for Father Cleo. Can I get some of that collection plate for some NIL deals?
Forget about the missions. This is where we're at.
It's after further review. Final break of the show. Otter Locks is next. We'll find out what Jimmy's got on Thursday Night Football. Stay here. It's AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by River Cities 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time, or you don't pay a dime. 752-0001, 752-0001, 752-0001. Remember, it's not too late if you want to nominate a family for the River Cities 1 Hour Air Operation Christmas Spirit 2023 Adopt a Family. They're going to adopt three families in need this Christmas to make their Christmas for their family a bit brighter. If you have a family in need, if you know of a family in need, you can go find all the info on how you can enter at their Facebook page. It's River Cities 1 Hour Air, or you can email Christmas@onehourbr.com. Christmas@onehourbr.com. ONE1hourbr.com. It's River Cities 1 Hour Air. They're aiming to make Christmas a little brighter for three families this holiday season in the greater Baton Rouge area. It's River Cities 1 Hour Air. 752-0001, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $20,000 off MSRP on new 23 Ram 1500 trucks. $20,000 off plus no payments for 90 days on new 23 Ram 1500 trucks. All with Bayou's 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
The importance of doing this Fortified program and offering it to people down here is, number one, the only real chance you're going to get to do this is when you put on a new roof or build new. And through companies like HUDCO, who's kind of leading the way in this thing, it's going to offer the customers a huge advantage in the insurance market and the price of their insurance.
You know, we're not looking to make a fortune off fortifying. We're trying to give you a better product than our competitor at the moment. I'm trying to do something that he can. I'm trying to give you something better. So a lot of these insurance shops, you're getting a re-roof, you're only paying your deductible. Let's sit down and talk about the Fortified and let's see what it does to your insurance premium. You're getting a steal.
Yeah.
You're getting a brand new roof and a Fortified certificate for your deductible, essentially. And I think we're rocking and rolling.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
The interior of an Infiniti is thoughtfully designed to be all about you. And by you, we mean every version of you. Because there's luxury you can feel, and there's luxury that lets you feel. Infinitely you. Experience luxury like never before with Infiniti Premium Care, included with the 2023 QX80 at your local retailer.
Hey, boat owners, check it out. It is the holiday season, which means it's time to buy yourself a gift by taking your boat to the next level with our friends at Front to Back Boat Service. Now is the perfect time to upgrade your boat and get it ready for that warmer weather, whether that's trolling motors, HD sonar, anything and everything. The Sherman family's been at it for 30 years, and Devin's going to take you through 30 more. Find him on Facebook at Front to Back Boat Service or go to fronttobackboatservice.com.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com.
Down the stretch we come, final segment here on a Thursday edition of AFR. Appreciate our friends over at the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Remember, you can always get that a consultation, get your levels checked, see if you're a candidate for hormone replacement therapy. TheAntiAgingClinics.com. All right, y'all. One thing left to do. Let's find out what we're betting on tonight. It's time.
I'm not seeing the open at all.
No worries. It's time for Otter Locks. We bring along the one and only, the incomparable, the often incomprehensible Jimmy Ott. Otter, how are you?
Good. Good, Matthew. How about you?
Doing really well. Congrats. Good night last night. We go 2-1. A&M let us down, but we hit with North Carolina. We hit with Arkansas. So let's keep it rolling on Thursday Night Football here tonight, Otter.
Arkansas. I knew I couldn't remember them ever going to Duke going to Fayetteville, and, well, that's because they never have. So I found that out last night. But anyway, good night last night. All right, tonight, man, the world is on Dallas. Dallas has just been so good at home. They've played the bully role very well. When they've been in this spot where they've been favored over a touchdown, they've won, cruising, going away. What you do have here is a little case of double recency bias. So recency bias, the general public bets on what they saw last. The odds makers are well aware of this when they put this line out. Everybody saw in a standalone spot on Thanksgiving, Dallas roll over Washington. Everybody saw in a standalone spot Thanksgiving night, Seattle struggle against San Francisco. This line is driven up. You got 80% of the tickets are on Dallas, so that's why I'm taking Seattle plus the points tonight against the Cowboys.
I'm looking at DraftKings, Otter. 87% of the action at DraftKings on Dallas. It's even higher.
Yeah.
It's even higher just at DraftKings. So,
now, are you looking at money line spread or?
That's just the total. That's the total number. It just says the total number, the percentage of bets placed. So all bets.
Right. I mean,
it doesn't designate whether it was money line or spread.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you can tap on it. It'll go a step further. It'll tell you breaking down spread, over, under, and money line. So
I'm trying to see. It doesn't tell me.
I'll teach you one day.
I'm literally looking at the app. Oh, there it is. Okay. All right, no, here you go. Money line, it's money. 87% of Dallas money line, 75% of the tickets on the spread. And then the total is 52% on the under. Otter, I referenced this a bit ago. One of the biggest trends of the year has been primetime unders. Is that worth a look?
15 in a row on Sunday and Monday night. Now, last time on Thursday night, the Joe Burrow game that went over to break a streak. But again, Monday night, Sunday night, Monday night. No, it's been an under year, Matt. I mean, it's not just on prime time, but especially prime time. And you know, these Thursday night games, not just this year too, but they've been sloppy and they've been funky. You know, with a short week. Both of these teams had a little extra rest because they played on Thanksgiving, but those have trended under as well. But this year, without a doubt, it's been trending under. If you want to look it up, Dallas has scored so much at home, though. I'm a little worried about that.
Okay.
But I do think Dallas has not beaten a team that has a winning record right now. This would be their best win against Seattle.
All right. Anything in college basketball, the NBA tonight?
No, man.
Okay.
No, man. Just I'm going to watch a little high school basketball tonight.
Love it.
So just
Awesome.
concentrate on.
We got Worm playing basketball?
No, he used to. He's done. He's running around on a soccer field for a night out. He thinks he's good, but I'm not quite sure what I'm watching on that.
Hey, tell him you can't tackle people on a soccer field. Make sure you know
1
that.
minute remaining.
No, he gets plenty of those yellow cards. Don't you worry. So.
All right, Otter, we appreciate you, man. Good luck. Have a great night.
All right, man. See you.
All right, we'll see you. AFR is brought to you by Traction, TractionSports.com, TractionSports.com, Traction, where champions are made. Hey, if you haven't done so yet, remember, parents, if you have, we're not quite to a minute yet, actually, Brain. You hit 1 minute remaining. We're good. We're good on time. No, you're good. You're good. I'm glad I looked. We're good. I know there's like 3 clocks over there. No worries. TractionSports.com. The Traction pitching clinics are coming up for softball. So parents, if your daughter is interested in softball pitching or already wants to improve, get to TractionSports.com, TractionSports.com to register. 4 clinics coming up starting December the 2nd. So it's a great opportunity to learn more. You can get involved, one or all of the sessions. There's beginner and intermediate. Learn more at TractionSports.com, TractionSports.com, Traction, where champions are made. All right, y'all, it is After Further Review. Just about to put a button on this one. If you missed anything, AFR On Demand presented by Brett Golf. Our Fantasy Blitz in hour number 1. Jim Costa was with us as well from 97.1 The Ticket up in Detroit. It was good enough to give us a preview of Saints Lions, and Mike Triplet was here earlier this hour as well. Remember, if you missed anything, AFR On Demand presented by Brett Golf. Brain, appreciate you for coming back. Appreciate Alondra as well. They kind of tag teamed the production side. Paulie as well. Y'all have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow at 3.
AFR.
As we get on down the road, mind you about DraftKings. Of course, if you want to bet on tonight's game, you can do so at the DraftKings Sportsbook. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use the promo code Baton Rouge. New customers make a $5 NBA bet. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app, use the promo code Baton Rouge, make a $5 NBA bet, and they'll give you $150 in bonus bets instantly. That's any bet. Win or lose, just make the $5 NBA bet. They'll give you $150 in bonus bets instantly right now at the DraftKings Sportsbook. It's safe. It's secure. It's so easy to deposit and withdraw money as well. Like, I use Venmo. You can hook up your bank account, whatever it is. It's so easy at the DraftKings Sportsbook. Safe, secure, 24/7 support at the DraftKings Sportsbook. Bet on Thursday Night Football tonight. They got some great boosts as well. Same game parlays. You can hook it up. Check the daily specials at the DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the promo code Baton Rouge. The crown is yours at the DraftKings Sportsbook.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Bayou Ford is taking $10,000 off MSRP on all new 23 Ford F-150 Black Widow trucks, plus $2,750 discount APR and 5.9% for 72 months. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Would a couple that just came from a couples massage have any use for the massage seats of the Infiniti QX60? Yes, it appears they would. With driver and passenger massage seats, mute all your notifications and feel infinitely you.